My name is Raph. I am playing Grinner, a barbarian human, running from his past as an ex-soldier, now turned mercenary.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared. I'm playing the character of Luther. He's a Dhampir. He is a fighter that specializes in firearms, a bit of an investigator, and I am the great uncle of Grinner.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm playing Tithla, the Goblin Ranger. She is a wonderful hunter and medical genius.
Hi, I'm Haz. I'm playing Theodore, the Satyr Druid, who's a kind of a charismatic druid who's unwillingly taken Tithla under his wing as she's followed him through the forest for the past few months.
G'day, I'm Tom. I'm playing Jonor, the Aasimar Wizard. He is on the pursuit of good and evil, finding out the best and worst in this world, and he's doing that with a little bit of naivety and optimism.
And I'm Owen, the Dungeon Master of our Curse of Strahd campaign. Hello! Welcome back to the Lost Archives. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, on this lovely Monday afternoon/evening in Australia. If you're in the US, I believe it is Sunday morning. You've got a week ahead of you. Good luck. Exactly. I know we're already one day in. It's not a great week. It's not a great week.
And we can say that because we're from the future.
Exactly. We are from the future. That's how Australia works. So yeah, welcome so much. Thank you for coming and joining us for our Curse of Strahd campaign. We're very excited to jump straight back into the campaign. Now, for those who are watching on YouTube and Twitch, you will see below me, Jared's face is grayed out, but he's actually here.
I am. I have a useless knee.
He has a useless knee. Instead of bending up and down, it bends side to side instead. So he's going to have to get that surgically corrected next month. That's not what it does. He's going to have to get that fixed up in the near future. But for tonight, no camera for Jared, so that he can look like he's in great pain without judgment from the internet.
It's on a
I don't know, I feel like that could be good for the stream.
doing a jackass stream where we've broken one of the players' knees. Let's see how well they play Dungeons and Dragons.
Sub to slap the knee.
Sub to slap the knee. Fucking hell.
How do I sub?
Yeah. So yeah, Jared is here. You will be hearing his dulcet tones. Podcast listeners, you won't notice anything different, but yeah, for YouTube and Twitch, you'll see Jared's face is grayed out below me. But everyone else is here. We're all here and excited and ready to play. Thank you, everybody, who joined us on Saturday for the Grounded stream. That was a really productive stream. We did really well. We got much further ahead. Not in the story. I mean, fuck me, we're dragging our feet in the story like we're allergic to plot points. But we managed to kill a whole bunch of very terrifying spiders, and I served as a meat shield, which is my primary function in Grounded. For people who can actually play, I'm just there to take a hit from a spider so that the people who are good at the game can keep playing. And I'm proud of that function, and it's working really well.
You know who you are, and that's
exactly.
fine.
Yeah, I even got some special ladybug armor just to protect me, so that I could get hit more times as a meat shield. And it was good, protected me. So yeah, the Grounded episodes will be coming up on YouTube very shortly. We've just had a bit of a delay while I get all of the editing done, but you'll see those drop in between D&D and Avatar Legends sessions over the next couple of days, and we'll try and do the whole game from start to finish now that it's fully released. So yeah, I'll keep you posted on that. Andrew, yeah, actually I was going to message you tonight after the stream, but next Monday, if you're free, I'd like you to come in and replace Jared for a session or two.
I'm sorry, real quick question. Why did he write chaotic evil?
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Chat?
No, don't worry about that.
I'm just wondering.
Nah, that's not important. Don't worry about that.
Is that not a problem?
Nah, so you don't have to worry about
problem.
that. Hey, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I'll message you anyway. But yeah, I can see how I can see in chat there. Thank you, everybody who came and joined us as well on Wednesday for our Return of the Giants campaign. Yeah, people, thank you so much. The love that campaign is getting really warms my heart. Thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure to run and write completely original content. I'd been a bit scared of doing it before, but obviously all the stuff with the D&D license updating and what was going on with all of that kind of helped me get the impetus I needed to make the plunge and start doing original content. And yeah, look, thank you so much for all the encouragement that's been getting. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for giving you the inspiration.
Thank you, thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for really just setting your community on fire.
I think you mean to say for continuing to inspire different stories in different worlds. And isn't that the party line we have to push?
Yeah, what he said. Our marketing manager. Yeah. Thank you. Our director of public relations, Jacob over here, is just handling that for us.
We're trying to get on that Wizards money. We're not on it, but we're trying.
Are we?
Aren't we trying to get on any money?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, fair point. Yeah, good call. All right, let me do a quick recap. Let us get into the campaign and jump straight in. Obviously, Jacob wasn't here last session, so it's going to be a bit of a shock for him when he realizes that Tithla unfortunately passed away end of last. Oh, awkward. I'll just do the recap, Jacob. Don't worry. I'll just do the recap, and you're here. You'll catch up. The newest team of the Tempest Adventuring Guild have found themselves lost in a strange land, following a request to investigate some mysterious disappearances. Exploring a manor in the ruined town of Dowbridge, the group have faced ghosts, ghouls, and banshees, and in the process of disrupting a cursed magic ritual, have now been pulled through a tear in space to the demiplane of Barovia. Travelling to the nearby town, the group were met by a Barovian man who introduced himself as Ismark, son of the recently deceased village burgomaster. Ismark also introduced the group to his sister Irina, and revealed that they planned to head to the nearby town of Vallaki, fearing they might befall the same fate as their father. Last session, our group finally arrived in the town of Vallaki, finding it a rather dour and depressed town that seemed to be constantly exposed to numerous festivals against most of the townsfolk's will by their rather deranged village mayor. Obviously, with Tithla being seriously injured the episode before by a group of night hags that the party encountered at the old mill towards the sort of southeast area of Vallaki, the group, I wouldn't say rushed, maybe like meandered Tithla to a healer at a very like chilled pace to ensure that.
Thanks, always knew I could count on you.
Yeah, to ensure. Seriously though, like there was not a lot of like occasionally they'd remember and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna get Tithla to the healer, and then oh look at that sign over there. Oh, that's an interesting building. We should check that out. And then they'd be like,
that's very shiny.
Oh yeah, Tithla. Yeah. So they ended up taking Tithla to St Andral's church, a cathedral and church situated at the far western side of town that was overseeing rather a threadbare-looking graveyard. On their way into the church, they met with Milivosh, a young lad who seemed to be the caretaker or groundskeeper of the area surrounding the church, before heading inside and meeting with the priest, Father Lucian Petrovich, who agreed to house Tithla for the evening and make sure that she was fully healed and look after her, while the rest of the party also had a little bit of a rest. In exchange, Father Lucian Petrov, revealed that the bones of a saint who had been buried beneath the church had been stolen only a few nights prior. The party were tasked, in exchange for sanctuary and the care of Tithla, they were tasked to locate the missing bones and return them to the church. Without the blessing of these bones, without the blessing of the saint, the church is no longer the sanctuary that it once was, open now to influences both benign and
not benign.
Not benign. Benign and malevolent is the word.
Unbenign.
Threats both foreign and domestic.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you, President. So as we left off last session, the group had actually split up and traveled to a few different locations. While Theodore tried to question Milivosh, one of the suspects for the theft of the bones, Jonor and Luther explored the catacombs below the church, locating the area where the bones had once been stored, and getting a bit of an understanding that the culprit looked to be a single person moving in and out of the undercroft section, leaving behind a single set of boot prints. While this was going on, Tithla was currently being healed. That's it.
It hurts.
It does hurt, and you're going to find out just how much in a minute. While Tithla's being healed, Grinner decided to head... Yep, we're with Grinner now, so we'll come back to your screams later. Grinner decided to head to the Blue Water Inn to have a bit of time to himself. I guess, in a way, not reflect on the horrific deeds that have been committed by the rest of the party and himself in the consumption of dream pastries, and trying not to think about the consequences of consuming pies that may or may not have contained human flesh. Grinner ordered, I think it was a full bottle of whiskey from memory. And
It was.
just as you sat down to enjoy that whiskey, hoping to have a bit of quiet time, a man, a rather older man dressed in quite fanciful clothing, quite well-to-do clothing, traveling clothing nonetheless, but quite fanciful clothing, approached you and actually leant over you and came and sat next to you and said, "Well there, you look like you've got a story to tell." And that is where we left off last session. We're going to jump straight back in. I think we should probably jump in with Grinner, just so that we can...
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Thank you.
I still can't believe those hags were evil.
Oh, it's crazy. I know, right? We'll jump straight back in with Grinner. As you're sitting down, Grinner, drinking your whiskey, taking a swig, this half-elf, long dark hair, tied back into almost like a semi-braid, dressed in traveling, probably I'd say to your eyes, bard's clothing. Colourful waistcoat with dark greens and blues. The overcoat itself is a greyish blue, designed to wear and protect the inside clothing. And you can see the inside clothing is much more ornate. This travelling cloak seems to be much more weathered. The hem is threadbare, and you can see where mud has stained and cut away at sections of the cloak. He has a pair of glasses perched on a slightly crooked nose, as if it's been broken once or twice before. And as he sits down and stares at you with these very piercing green eyes, and pulls out a hip flask of his own and takes a swig, and looks at you and says, "You look like you've got a story to tell." What does Grinner say or do? We pass straight back over to Grinner.
Grinner's probably going to stare at him for a little bit with this internal struggle of just exasperation. It's like finally he gets a little bit of alone time. He's got his whiskey. He's just sitting down. Goddamn huge amount of shit's been going on. And suddenly there's this guy. He's probably just going to stare at him for probably just enough time to make things awkward and take a big old swig of whiskey straight out of the bottle. Maybe.
You look like a man who's drinking to forget. If you need some time alone, I'm happy to grant it, but you're a traveler to these lands, correct?
Yes.
Maybe come find me when you're feeling a bit more convivial. Gives you a nod, cheers you with his hip flask, stands up and goes to walk away.
What the fuck was that all about? I just have a big old another swig of whiskey. Kind of look at him as he wanders off and kind of gauge where he goes.
As he gets about halfway down the landing, he sort of pauses, turns around. "Name's Rictavio. I'll be here for the next few nights if you're looking for me. Any longer than that, and, well, I might have to come find you then, hey?"
Alright. I think Grinner's probably, like, once he turns around and starts walking off, Grinner's gonna grab like a knife or a fork that's on the table or something and just scratch an approximation of Rictavio's name into the top of the table because he knows he's going to forget it very shortly.
As you start carving his name, the half-elf bard gets to the top of the stairs, pauses, hearing the sound of metal scraping on wood, half turns and looks at you like scraping and goes, he's like opens his mouth as if to say something, pauses, lowers his hand and begins walking down the stairs.
Maybe this guy isn't what I need.
And yeah, Grinner's going to spend as much time as you'll allow just sinking as many full bottles of spirits as he can.
Well, that's not going to be a great number of full bottles of whiskey. This shit is moonshine that is fermented to the highest standards of paint thinner. So what I will get you to do is roll me 3 Constitution saving throws in a row, and we will come back to you in a minute.
Sounds good.
Brilliant. Tithla, while the others have left you and moved on out to go and do a bit of an investigation, exactly. Father Lucian has spent a bit of time preparing what looks to be some sort of poultice that he is applying to your burns. While he's doing this, Irina is also standing, like helping out occasionally, like helping to dress some of the wounds, peel off some of the bandages, and try not to pull too much skin with it. That is now peeling off quite awfully from your horrific, I'm going to say 4th degree burns. It's as bad as burns can be. Like you got that, it was a 1 on the injury check. So yeah, it's as bad as burns can physically be. But you're having a good time.
Also, just
rolling
note,
the punches.
with the father here, I think Tithla wouldn't quite understand the difference between the terms father and dad. And everyone else is calling him father. He's like, dad, yeah, thanks.
He corrects you. Yeah, no, please. He corrects you the first time, and won't bother after that.
Yes, dad.
You are also given a small, almost like a shot glass, but made of porcelain, filled with this milky white liquid. As the father sort of hands it over and says, "This is milk of the poppy. It will help dull the pain a little bit and let you sleep a little bit later on. You need to drink it all up. Have you had plenty of water today?"
I'm okay. My other dad said that we don't really have the milk of the poppy.
When you're horrendously injured, I think it is important that you look after oneself. Irina, could you help? Irina takes it, dips a finger in, and shows you, and then licks it and goes, It's okay, Tithla. You can have some. You are very injured. You need to have some level of pain relief or you are likely to go into shock.
I don't know. I'm already pretty shocked. This is very, very painful.
All the more reason for you to have some of this, please, Tithla. Could you just have a little bit for me? You don't have to drink the whole thing. Maybe just have a sip.
Okay. Sure thing.
As you have a little
she
sip.
wants to roll a sleight of hand to not have it.
Oh, okay. Go for it. Yep.
You know what would have been a great idea?
Yeah.
You know what would have been the best idea?
Tell me.
If I had properly had her character sheet open before.
That might come in handy for Dungeons and Dragons.
Vamping,
yeah.
Great, and I also don't have the roll 20 up, so I'm just going to tell you what it says. So this is doing well. That's a 13.
13. As you try and like flick back the liquid, you kind of splash a bit on your hand. It's not the most dexterous sleight of hand as you try and, because I'm guessing you're trying to like sort of throw it back over your shoulder and pretend you've like chugged it, or how are you doing?
Yeah, something like that. Okay. Yes. The whole classic like, oh no, I spilled it.
Oh no.
Got it.
As you go to do that, you splash a fair bit of it on your hand. Irina sort of like gives you a look, raises an eyebrow, and goes, "Well, maybe some willow bark tea. Would that be more agreeable to you, Tithla?"
I don't know. I like, maybe. Yes.
What if I made it here in front of you and you could help me make it?
Well, I've had the willow bark tea before. That's just like good for some pain relief.
She like looks at your hand that's dripping like the milky sap of the essentially liquid opium at this stage. Let's just call it what it is. That was also for pain relief, Tithla. The milk of the poppy is the sap from poppies. It is an anesthetic.
Oh.
You could still lick it off your hands.
Yeah, that sounds like it's gonna make it not hurt. And she goes to try and rub it into one of her arms where it's burnt.
Yeah, I mean,
she's very good with topical solutions to wounds. Very familiar with burns and whatnot, and you put things on burns.
You do. Well, as you go to rub this off on one of your burns, you interact with the poultice, this mixture of herbs, and you're not sure what else is in this poultice either. You've made a few poultices in your time. It looks like herbs wrapped in leaves that have been bound around your body that have then been wrapped in bandages. And as you go to sort of like rub it on the burn, you just sort of rub it on the outside of the bandage, leaving a bit of like a white stain that sinks in.
All right, and then she'll lick it.
Yeah, you lick it. It's like... Not much happens because at this point you've spilled it and wiped it off on yourself. So as you lick like the final few drops, nothing much really happens, unfortunately.
I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't understand what was going on.
He sort of looks up from wrapping a section of your lower calf, which is still like exposed to the air at this point, and goes,
"Yeah, no, that still really hurts."
Well, you've drunk all of the. Oh, thank you. I'll take that back off you as he takes the glass.
Sorry, Dad. I didn't actually drink any. I didn't understand.
This stuff is a little bit hard to make. Do you need some more?
That's up to you. I made my choices, and I didn't have any, and I'm sorry about that.
He reaches in, pulls out a bottle, fills it about a third of the way, and hands it back to you. Yeah, drink up.
Thank you, Dad.
Down it. Yeah, starts to feel a bit better. As Father Lucian finishes binding your wounds, he sits back, clutching his holy symbol, the symbol of the rising sun, but also marked with an open hand in the very center, the symbol that you now know is of St Andral, who was a champion and saint of Lysander. And as he concentrates and begins praying under his breath, you see the symbol glow with light very, very faintly just for a moment. And Tithla, you start to feel a little bit better as the poultice begins to kick in. The damage begins to take a little bit less of an active effort on you. You actually no longer are suffering from extreme hypothermia. You are now suffering from 4th degree burns as you take a lesser injury. There is the new injury. It is you no longer have the interference with your action bonus actions and movement speed halved. That's all gone. Now you just have disadvantage on strength, dexterity, and constitution ability checks, and any fire damage you take is going to deal an extra d6 damage.
Nice.
So
Look,
it's a lesser.
Better already.
Yeah, this is all the priest can do at this point. But
what did he cast? Because that was some pretty high level shit that was needed to get rid of it.
That's why it hasn't. So regenerate's needed to remove the injury. He hasn't done that. He's merely done a lesser restoration and moved it down the table by 2. So it's a table going from 1 to 20. He's moved it down 2 places from 1 to 3. So it's now 4th degree burns as he casts lesser restoration to turn it from a major injury into a moderate injury.
I'll take it.
Well, you will, because I've said it out loud, so now it's canon. But
yeah. Thanks. I feel so much better.
It's very important that you take some time to rest when you get a chance, young lady.
I will. And when I get the chance, I will. Can you just point me to where my friends have gone?
Irina looks at you and goes, your friends were investigating the issue with you were listening, Tithla, the bones that had been stolen from beneath the church?
Well, no, do you remember how I'm in a lot of pain?
Oh, okay. There were some bones stolen from beneath the church. They are magical. They provide protection to the church. We need to locate them.
Oh, I don't want to go near that. I feel like...
blessed by the gods.
I feel like Jonor's probably the one to deal with that. I think I might just stay here in bed if that's okay.
You are more than welcome to. Otherwise, I know that Grinner has gone to the Blue Water Inn.
Yeah, have you seen me? She says there. She's sitting with her arms and her legs both up, wrapped up in bandages.
Actually, the way the bandages have been wrapped, you've actually still got a fair bit of mobility. It looks like whatever this priest, whatever his past experience is, he clearly knows what he's doing. Even Tithla, you would be a little bit impressed with his efforts here. Like, this isn't just a local priest who it converts the unbelievers and provides talks and sermons. He is a working priest. He clearly has got his hands dirty looking after people in the past. Like, he didn't even, he rolled his sleeves up and immediately got to work on your burns. He didn't flinch. He didn't look disturbed by them. He did look a little bit disturbed by them, but he just took it in his stride. Clearly this is a man.
Of bone that could be seen. So.
Yeah.
He seems soft to me.
Like, he could see the network of nerves underneath your lower dermal layers. And he just sort of was like, okay, yes, we need to deal with this right away. And he was quick and efficient.
If that's the case, if the group sort of split up and is doing different things, and Tithla's sort of only now just coming to, Dad, do you think you might be able to show me a thing or two? Show me how to do this and maybe teach me some things? I'm trying to improve my own medicine work. You seem to be very good.
Well, I am hosting a sermon in an hour or two for the parishioners of this town. I guess I could just use a previous one that I've used before. I was going to write something for tonight, but maybe I could use a previous sermon, and you and I could spend a bit of time maybe working on... I could take you through what I've done here today. Would you like that?
I would. I wouldn't want to put you out, though.
No,
I'm sorry.
I often try to teach the medical arts to those inside the village. I think it's very important that more people know how to care for the injured and for the sick, and it's a shame I've not been able to get much interest. If anything, young lady, I'm quite astounded that you're so invested in this. It's wonderful.
I do know a few things at the moment, but obviously you're very experienced. So
Oh,
the only way to develop is to learn, and the only way to learn is to. Ow!
couldn't think of something in time.
It hurts.
Well, with that, Father Lucien will spend 45 minutes to an hour just taking you through everything he's done step by step to look after your burns, giving some advice on burns, as well as some advice on some of the more common injuries that you might see while traveling through Barovia. Bites,
Keep in mind,
claw
Tithla
marks.
is quite adept at medicine.
Are you really?
So
Or have you just
if
been
he
saying
starts
that?
to go with some of the basic stuff, she would go, "Oh yeah, no, and this would solve that, and this would."
Yeah.
I would
He
imagine
would
that.
he quickly matches your level, and then like for the most part, Tithla, he doesn't he says a lot of new information. Not all of it's necessarily better than what you already know. You know, some of it's just different. Probably would have the same impact. Like he recommends this specific leaf binding because it's waterproof and it has a natural antiseptic. But you also know that this leaf binding, again, naturally waterproof. Even though it doesn't have a natural antiseptic, it's less resistant to tearing. So you've been using this leaf binding for some years. It's just different perspectives.
Yep.
But you do get a couple of new pieces of information from him that,
Nice.
yeah, might come in handy if you continue to progress down this pathway of learning medical knowledge.
Yeah. Different ways to do things for different circumstances.
Exactly. Alrighty, let's jump over to Theodore. Now, Theodore, last we left you had a bit of a chat with Miljevush, the groundskeeper, and
Yeah,
attempted to
total douche.
follow him unsuccessfully.
Like clicky clacky goat hooves on the
That was the noise of them just
On
then,
the
not my
rock.
chair creaking. That was the clicky clacky goat hooves.
goat hooves.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we've finished that, and I
Yes.
thought I'd just re-met up with Luther and Jonor. And we,
Oh, yes. Sorry, you
shared
met them
knowledge.
coming out of the church. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. In that case, then, yeah, so Theodore, Luther, and Jonor, the three of you are outside the front of the church having just shared all the information that you've learned with each other and what you've learned down in the crypts and from Miljevush. You probably would hear Tithla occasionally going like, ah, from inside the church, echoing out
fine.
through.
we should not be worried about Tithla. She is fine. So we suspect this is one culprit of the crime. One person was in the crypt. I investigated the Miljevush, and he was definitely hiding something from me.
So just to touch base again, Owen, it was only one set of footprints, right?
That's right.
Yep, cool. So I just, yeah, that's definitely was only one set of footprints. So, what did you get out of Miljevush?
He was quite cagey. The more I prodded, the angrier he got. He was clearly not wanting to tell me something, and when I talked about the young boy from the church, he got frankly quite pissed off.
Is that someone important to him, or is that just like a friend?
They seems to be something of a younger brother to him, but not blood related.
Yeah, okay.
So,
But
the one thing I do have on my mind is the person that you just talked to in the yard, the caretaker. He was very open talking to us about the bones. So how many other people has he told? Like he might be the culprit, but he also might be someone that's talked to a few other people around town. So that knowledge might not be as secret as we thought.
well, yes, the child might have told. The kid was the one telling people. The groundskeeper is one of the suspects he might have told. That's right.
Yeah, I know,
Exactly.
but because
Yep.
we talked to the caretaker, the suspect, and he told us outright, "Hey, this is
Yeah,
what happened."
He knew there's bones in there.
Yeah.
When I talked to him, he said that he knew the bones were in there and had been stolen, but he didn't know where the bones necessarily were in the church. Was the vibe that he gave. He
Yeah.
was at least playing dumb, but I suspect he knows more, or at least something about the kid. I tried to feign concern for the child, and said that the child had some secret that he had to get off his chest but wasn't telling me, in the hopes that he would reveal some information, but he's got pissed off and cagey.
All true.
It's very hard to sort of tell and gauge, but the caretaker's foot size, like, I mean, like, obviously without looking at it, it's really hard to tell, but I'm taking it this is like a teenager, so he might not even have... He could. We've got to sort of get a bit closer and have a look.
Those are adult-sized boot, right?
11 to 12.
Yeah, it's quite a large size footprint down in the crypt. But Jonor, as you say that, your character looks over. You can see the fresh garden bed that Milivosh has been walking through around the gravestones.
Oh, that's a good point. We can have a look.
Yeah, can I head over and make a little survival check on that? See if they're...
Yeah, 100%.
We're there with him. Can I give him advantage, like, for your help?
Absolutely.
You tell me what the first ones look like. I compare them to these ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Oh,
like
thank
it a lot.
God, we don't need that.
12.
Much better.
And natural 20, 26.
Holy shit! Nice.
Yeah. You immediately recognize that these are the exact boot prints. As Theodore goes through, points them out. Luther, you come over and look at them. Yeah, they're exactly the right boot prints. 100%.
Is that cranky groundskeeper lied to me?
Why would he lie to you? Were you probing him a little bit? That's a poor turn of phrase, but were you investigating his intentions a bit too hard?
I only probed him as hard as he would have enjoyed. It was quite a gentle, loving probing.
Oh, God.
Well,
Let's be
maybe,
honest,
maybe children, you should...
No, I sat
different
down. I pulled weeds with him. I was trying to be a very...
Is that what the kids are calling it these days? Pulling weeds?
Pulling weeds.
You know, baby.
Oh, God.
Says the one calling the priest dad.
Not daddy.
Yet.
Oh, please no.
All right. Well,
You really want to hear that from Tithla? Is that really what you want?
No, no one wants
No,
this.
that disturbs me as a
Don't do it.
as a daughter figure. She's growing up so fast.
Too fast.
So if those are his boots and his boots were also downstairs, then we should really get on to him.
Yes.
Like,
He just stormed off after I questioned him. He ran off out of the grounds towards X direction.
Well, I think we
have
should
to-
go follow it then. We need to have a chat with this with some evidence now. We might be able to have him open up a bit more.
so are we going the threatening route or a nice persuasion? Because if we go on persuasion, if Theodore's given a hard time, then he should probably hang back a little bit.
I say I turn into a bear. You both load up on top of me. We barge in his door. I bite his mother, and then we see where it goes from there.
Maybe let's not do something that might get us into the prison.
No, I need to hang around here until their revel kicks off. No, look, I mean, he seems a bit annoyed, but I don't know if he would be opposed to continuing talking to me, particularly with evidence. But yes, let's. Do we know where his house is?
No, you don't know where his house is.
Let's
certainly
ask
didn't
the
say.
priest where his house is.
I also want to check the boots of other people. I don't imagine there's lots of different brands of shoes going around. Should we check if there's like?
Yeah, was there a
just
brand
same
mark in the
boots?
footprint?
No
Okay, so-
brand mark.
No hard yakka on the.
No hard yakka, no UGG, no
Any Uggs.
Gug. Yeah, there's Gug boots. No, there's no brand name. As you look, it looks like these were constructed of hide and leather. Yeah, no identifying brand.
You didn't notice any soil from the boots down in the crypt, did you?
Oh, we did find a little bit of mud on, I think, the top of a triangle. So,
Well.
does that mud? Can I remember if the mud matches the fertilizer out here? I don't know why I asked you in my accent.
That's
Would
okay.
Can my nat 20 do soil?
I'm going to allow it. As you point out I'll allow it because it's the same check. You're trying to identify whether these boots belong to the boots.
Dart back in down the crypt if need be and go check and come back.
I would say that you don't need to. It's the same check. You're trying to identify, do these boot prints out here match the boot prints in the crypt? This is all the same information, so I will allow that nat 20 to persist. You're welcome. Just transfer to my wallet in the next few days. So as you have a bit of a look, Jonor and Theodore points out the areas of the mud. Yeah, I mean, it looks very similar. If not exactly the same, then probably from around this area. Although, as you look around, you can see that it's kind of impossible to walk from the road to the church without stepping in some areas of soil and mud. So it's not necessarily like a smoking gun, but the soil it does look like it's from around the church area.
Well, this Miliavosh character is worth at least another look into. Shall we go talk to the priest and get an address?
It's a good idea.
Yeah,
But
sounds
do
great.
we want to tell the priest that his caretaker probably could be the thief? That would really rattle. But
I mean, he already suspected the guy.
No. Yeah. Okay.
Here's the priest's number one suspect.
Go ahead. That's fine.
Alrighty. As you guys head back inside, you can see Father Lucian stepping out from that small antechamber where he's been taking care of Tithla. As he heads out to go and refill his bottle of milk of the poppy, he spots you and brushes down his clothes a little bit, sort of wipes his hands, a little bit bloodied, on a towel around his waist before tucking it into a pocket inside his robes. Well, how did you go with your investigations into the crypt? What did you find?
It seems somewhat likely that the man Miliavosh is involved.
Damn. I was really hoping it wasn't him, to be honest.
Well,
what
look,
proof have you found?
While after I said that, can I make a quick perception roll of what shoes the priest's wearing?
Yes, you can. 13. They're half hidden below the hem of his robe, but you do catch the sight of, rather surprisingly, some really big boots hidden beneath the hem of the robe.
How do I fucking approach this? We found some gardening equipment down there that was probably dropped out of his pocket. So I mean, this seems very
Gardening equipment?
Yes, I held up the trowel I went to get from the shed.
How did I not see this when I went down to investigate before? Where did you say you found this?
It was tucked behind the glass case. He must have been trying to jimmy around and it fell out of his pocket as he was going around.
Could you make me a deception check, please?
Yeah, I got you.
I must be going blind. I didn't see that at all when I was down there.
Why am I so bad at this?
12.
Oh, and can you start giving me some inspiration, just like persistently, please?
What for? Why?
Being a nice person.
But I think you know the answer to that question. You've known me for how many years now? Would you describe me as a nice person?
Yes.
Ass kisser. Bootlicker. You know what language I speak.
But yeah, the goal there was to not reveal the type of evidence so that he wouldn't try and cover it up.
Yeah. As you're talking this through, it's not even just that you're like, because you know that this is kind of bullshit and you're kind of going on the fly with this. Is you're like, you used the trowel to jimmy up around the side of the case. What was that accent? Never mind.
All accents trend to Indian. It's a thing.
Normally they trend Scottish for me. That's a new one.
I don't want to be associated with this podcast in
that's
any
fair.
fashion.
I'd like it to be known that on the record, Jacob has he's here against his will. I have a gun to his head. He doesn't want to be here. Just want that on record. There you go. You happy now, Jacob? Your thumbs up. He's happy now.
Thank you.
You giving a thumbs up and a smile technically is tantamount to you agreeing to be on the podcast. You've just undone that, just so you know.
Well, in for a penny, in for a pound.
You're not believing this as you say it, and your face is kind of giving that away a little bit. Like every so often as you pause, you go, behind the glass case to jimmy it up. Like,
it's just resting goat face. I swear this is what believing looks like to my people.
On top of that, Jonor and Luther, like, as they turn to look at you as you say this, they're like kind of watching, like nodding along with kind of like half bemused expressions. And as you catch their eyes, probably a look of panic would set in just for a moment, this brief flash of panic as you see them and you're like, oh, I didn't tell them I was planning on lying. Hopefully they go along with this plan. Yeah.
I think it's pretty clear that the priest hasn't believed me when I've said this. Does that show on his face?
The priest looks really confused, as if like he's heard something that he can't. He's struggling to believe, but he wants to.
Something's just occurred to me then. So, you said you've gone down to visit the bones?
Yes, that's how I discovered they were taken.
To rule out the evidence, we need to take an imprint from your boot.
Oh, yes, sure, of course, right. You will find my boot prints down there in the dust. Yes, of course. Yes.
Yes. So to make sure that there's only one set of boot prints, can you go stand in the mud outside so we can compare?
Oh, yes, I can wash my boots after. Yes, of course. Please.
Yeah, thinking that it might not be because of the thief. As Father Lucien walks outside the church, steps onto a patch of mud, he does 2 solid steps to get a really clear imprint of his right and left foot. Steps back, looks down, and goes, "Is that what you're after?" You can see he's left 2 very clear boot prints. Thank you. Can I compare to the other ones and see how they all line up?
Yeah, they're very similar in size. Not exactly the same, but very similar. Could you roll me a survival check to see how well you identify these boots?
Can I also do an investigation check on my monocle?
100%. 21.
And I'm back.
You're seeing double, Theodore. These boots look exactly the same as the ones in the garden, and exactly the same as the ones in the crypt. Luther, investigation of 6 and 17. The boots the priest is wearing look much newer, much more freshly made. The boot prints that he's just left behind, you can see, are giving a much clearer indentation around the outside than those in the garden. But again, they're the exact same size.
But there is a difference between the ones in the garden and
the ones that he's just left behind is a much clearer imprint than the boots that the Milivoje is wearing.
So, but they both have the same size.
The boots
they both match up
with
the
same size.
So they both match up with the footprint downstairs.
Yes.
And we can't differentiate by the seeming age. Like, it's not, the one downstairs isn't looking more worn.
The problem is because it's in dust, it's not as clear. At this stage, you're looking at them, you're like, shit, it could really be either of them.
Did I get a male adult from? But I didn't get like an actual like how heavy set they were, right?
Oh, I'm happy to add that because I think your roll was like a 19 or something. It was decent on that investigation check. I can't even find it. Hang on. It was a natural 20 for 24. So, probably height anywhere between 160 to 190 centimeters if they're of an average weight. If they're above average weight, they could be a little bit shorter. If they're an under average weight, they could be a little bit taller. But average weight, probably looking at about 165, 170 to about 190, I'd say.
And how
tall's the priest?
What height is the priest?
Yeah,
having a quick look at
the priest is a little bit shorter. You can see than the Milivoje. Milivoje is quite a tall lad. Like when I say teenager, he's in his like 17, 18, and he's quite. You can see he's quite strong. Yeah. He's probably about 100 and maybe 185, 180 centimeters tall. So just under 6 foot with quite large muscles. I mean, he would fit the weight and height profile. But the priest, who is a little bit shorter, is not as buff. You can see that he's got a bit of a stomach that's poking out between not poking out between, I shouldn't say that, it's not pregnant. That's pushing the fabric away from his chest a little bit in a straight line. So he's got a bit of a dad bod, but he's a little bit shorter, probably about 170, 165 centimeters.
He actually sort of falls into the range a little bit still.
They both could fall into the range. It's almost I've constructed a fucking mystery for you to solve.
Dun dun dun!
Thank you. Thank you.
Jonor, read his mind.
I'm just really kind of tired today.
Detect his thoughts.
You know how well that goes.
Do you know Jonor can do that?
Divination magic to divine who the hell stole his bones?
Look, that could be very helpful, but for the time being, I need a bit of a rest. We've been talking
Are
out.
you guys actually
Jonor.
talking about this stuff in front of him?
Yeah. At this stage, I'm assuming that they are. Jonor, you also know that you have that Tarokka deck. You have a Tarokka deck that you've picked up. Like, you know you've got that. At any time, you could give that a go. Try and take a reading, see if you learn anything.
Ooh.
Probably not in front of a priest of Lysander, though. You suspect that he's probably not going to be a fan of you consulting voodoo magics for for divine intervention. Being like, yes, I see the person was, it was death. I mean, the high priestess. You get the sense he's probably not going to be a big fan of that, and take that as legitimate evidence.
But voodoo is not favorable in this.
If you come to him with some voodoo hoodoo, you know he's going to say, why do?
What about hoodoo voodoo?
Yeah, that's fine.
Hoodoo gurus?
Obviously.
Is it Mr. Father Lucian? Yes, thank you for the blueprint. It's very helpful. Could you point us in the direction of Miliavosh's house?
Oh, Miliavosh's house. I guess I could direct you there. He stays just a few streets east of the church, but he's still here working. Are you looking for him? He's still here working. He just went upstairs
He stormed off.
No, he stormed inside. He's headed upstairs. I heard him slam the door and stomp upstairs. He's upstairs polishing some silverware, I think.
Oh, he's upstairs polishing.
Well, I think we'll have a quick chat with him first, but definitely having the address is great. The last thing I want to quickly ask you, Priest, though, at the time of the robbery, what was your whereabouts? Where were you?
Well, part of the problem is I don't know what time it occurred. I have a block of time that goes through most of the evening and part of a day. The problem was that I last checked in on the bones. Oh,
hold on, Owen.
Yeah?
Sorry, with my nat 20,
Yeah.
Can I tell how long that footprint had been there? As in, like, looking at how the dust had settled back afterwards. Because it's a nat 20, and I know I'm reaching. No.
You
didn't look like someone had stepped over those footprints a second time.
More of the time that the robbery occurred?
So the problem is, right, that the way that the dust has been disturbed, you'd have to know how frequently the dust settles and gathers in this area. So you're not going to know a precise time. You know that those footprints are probably a couple of days old.
Okay. I just thought I'd try.
That's a really good idea.
The priest said he went back down to check, and we only saw one set of prints. Right?
Yep.
So
either the person who stole the bones has no feet, or the priest nicked the bones.
Okay, so what happened
Or they
is
clean.
maybe they used the rope to get down and lower themselves, never touching the ground.
That seems very advanced for Miliavosh.
I know. But
Which means
also...
back to suspecting that old lady. And not just because I want to kill her for the second time in my D&D
remember,
career.
we're in D&D as well, and I am a person who can... you don't guys don't know this yet, but I can literally walk on walls. I don't need to use the floor. So who knows who else might be able to do stuff like that?
I mean, casual flex, but whatever.
Yeah.
Brag much?
I mean, the
Jonor can fly.
Yeah, but you don't see him bragging about it.
He's honest about that.
Yeah, he keeps
I'm
that
like
to
a
himself.
pigeon clapping around a room.
Yeah, and he gets stuck indoors. I don't know if he'd be bragging. That was good.
That's actually really good.
I've been practicing my pigeon.
So look, maybe we can sort of at least thinking we can move ahead and think that maybe this is the priest's footsteps,
Right.
and this might be him coming down and checking out the robbery afterwards. So
It could be. So there's something else as well, is that he has people come through this church, like 10, 15 people every single afternoon or night, and the number of clean booted people around here is going to be off the charts. So
what's the thing? The
Like-
mud.
but if someone with clean boots came down, and then the priest with his dirty shoes came down and found it. So
The priest doesn't have dirty shoes, does he? He has clean shoes.
They look
yeah,
quite
but
clean.
they could have. Oh, they look clean. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
no, he
that's
said that he
abandoned
had clean shoes and he was going to get them dirty, which means that his shoes aren't probably dirty. He probably Miliavosh is the one that does all the things outside.
That is true. So that would explain the dirt. The priest did seem adverse to going in the dirt.
That means we're back at square one again.
Yeah. I mean, the other option is the other potential culprit, the old lady that was politically aligned with Daddy Strahd.
I object to that phrasing.
What, old lady?
No.
Daddy Strahd.
Yeah,
mature woman.
I object to that. No. Obviously, Daddy Strahd.
She could. I mean, look, the bones offered protection to the town, right?
Oh yeah.
And maybe if she was in league with Strahd, she wants to. I don't know.
So who's this woman again? I don't remember.
So
Political
Fiona
opponent
Wachter.
to the Burgomaster.
Oh, yep, I remember now. Yep, I know who it is.
What was her name again, sorry?
Fiona Wachter. I'll put it in chat.
She's a governess.
Oh,
Yeah.
and obviously I'm not there, but I just wanted to reiterate something that you mentioned earlier.
Hello.
Did you say the boots that Miliavosh is wearing and the priest's boots are the same size? Miliavosh's ones look
Are a
a
bit
lot
more
newer. Are a bit
Yep.
more worn, and the priest's ones are a lot newer.
Yes, Drunky.
Okay. I'm not going to give any input. I have
Yes.
ideas in
Yep.
my head,
I
and I'm not going to raise it
Yep.
past that point.
think I can see what you've thought of.
Carry on. Sorry.
I'm using detect thoughts. Unlike Jonor, I don't have a limit to how many times I can do it per day. So no.
Well, I think anyway, I think
Would
it'd be good to
clean.
talk to Milivosh, and then it'd be good to maybe touch base with
Fiona.
Grinner again and stuff. And then we can all go to Fiona.
We can see what kind of boots Fiona wears.
They're the same size 11 men's.
Unless she bribed Miliavosh to steal them for her. The plot thickens.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions.
Or
We need to get more clues. We need more clues.
Let's go
Yeah.
abuse Miliavosh.
Okay. Milivosh is upstairs in the upper area of the church, as Father Lucian has said. Did you want to pick up Tithla on your way past, or just leave her to? Sort of
I mean,
be
we'll check in
bandaged?
on. Let's check in on Tithla. Let's see how she's doing.
Yeah, perfect. Tithla, as you're
Over, under, and then you pull it through tight.
Yep. Yes, that's very very much correct, Tithla. I was just chatting to your friends. Oh, here they are. As the rest of them just walk into the room.
And she immediately lies back down.
Can I have a performance check?
100%.
We just saw her like so enthusiastically, like under.
Yeah.
No,
like a toddler.
That's
with
a
disadvantage.
10.
10. I'm not
Off
giving
a
a
natural
disadvantage.
11 though, so you know.
Yeah, but it's a -1, so it's a 10. I mean, none of you are fooled by this. As you see Tithla, you will see Tithla as you walk in. I think your passive perceptions would all be greater than 10.
Oh, the pain.
Irina goes, "Oh, Tithla, what's wrong? You seemed fine just a moment ago." Not realizing that you're faking.
No, I didn't. Irina, I was putting on a brave face. Shh, be cool.
Oh,
Are you okay, Tifler? And I say that a bit more sarcastically than with compassion.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you because your compassion. It's really made me feel like I can open up.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing it up a little bit, but
You were?
yeah, I was.
That fooled me. I
Mostly-
swear to God.
Mostly because I was scared of what might happen if I was, you know.
Right. Yeah, no.
Do you want to come on the adventure, Tithla, or are you still going to rest?
Dad, did we have much more to learn?
no, that's probably a good place to wrap up for today, Tithla. I probably should prepare for the congregation.
bandages puns. I like it.
Yes, I see you got that. It was a very subtle one. Well, we'll put a pin in it for now, and
What?
like could you pin the bandage at the end after you've wrapped
Maybe
it
we'll
up?
get to that next time.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Baby steps, Tifler.
Well, the rest of the congregation will be arriving in the next sort of 20-30 minutes. So if you need
Would
anything
you
else
like
from
some
me,
help preparing for your talk?
no, that's fine, Tithla. You should spend some time with your friends.
Okay. Well, maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Okay.
Well, I'm
Where are we
going to
going?
go prepare.
Luther?
I'll catch you. Okay.
Bye,
I'll catch you later.
Dad.
Okay. Bye-bye. Turns and walks out. Irina, Ismark, who's been standing at the door keeping watch as you guys walk in, gives you a nod and comes in as well. Irina looks over and goes, Where is Grinner? Where is he?
He's going to the local inn, Blue Water Inn, I think it was.
She and Ismark sort of like side-eye each other, and she goes, and there's no one there keeping an eye on him?
He's
I
very
assume
strong.
he'll keep an eye on himself. He's a big boy. He'll probably drink himself into oblivion and fall asleep at the table.
Look, drink himself into oblivion, sure. Ismark chimes in.
I won't lie. It's probably not a great idea that he's there by himself.
Yeah, do you want us to...
I resent that.
Do you want Irina... You're not there. Do you want Irina and I to go check in on him and maybe bring some...
Not hurt. If he has not managed to do it, if you could secure lodgings there for us, that would be good.
Yeah,
Also,
yes,
please
absolutely.
just make sure he doesn't drink himself to death as well. He's not in a good way. We need to definitely give him some form. Well, it's like we needed to give him an intervention, but then he found out about the pies. So he's in a world.
I have some Morosi pie if it'll help cheer him up.
What's wrong with the pies?
Is there
What
children, Tithla? They're made of children.
No shit, they were just needing the children to help make the pies.
Yeah, no, they were needing the children with a K.
Yeah, the children were helping them with their flesh. Yeah, the children were helping
You
them
got me with
their
that one.
flesh.
That's good. Even though I saw it coming. It's good.
When you say K, you mean like the bread, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yes,
that's
it is. There was the
disgusting.
dough, and
Why
there
would
was
Grinner
the
keep
gravy.
going back for more and more and more?
He likes the souls of departed children. We know
fair.
this.
That's fair. I've often
And,
been...
well, he obviously didn't know, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, that
uh,
makes more sense. Well, then, of course, let him drink himself stupid.
I mean, he did try and eat the eye gravy after he knew it was eye gravy.
Yeah, he
That wasn't-
definitely needs to.
That wasn't Grinner.
He can quit anytime he likes. He can quit anytime.
I just need the gravy, man. I just need my gravy.
We've all
some
seen a
gravy.
man when he's been taken by their addiction.
So, do we need to save him like he sort of saved his two children friends from the manor? I think we should probably.
I mean, they
Why
were-
not?
yeah,
Because they
definitely.
wound up dead.
To be fair, they were already dead when we found them.
Maybe
But
we should
that's
not
true.
talk about those children right now.
Why
I think
not?
that's-
Tell you what,
Yeah,
Is it
strong
dead?
bar on that.
I think
And,
you guys should look into the missing bones. We'll go secure lodgings and check on Grinner, and then come meet us at the Blue Water Inn after.
Sounds good. Ismark.
I'll make sure he doesn't die or get injured or kill anyone else or injure anyone else.
Who stole some bones? Tithla says as she's putting stuff in her bag.
This is what you're trying to find out, Tithla. Someone has stolen some bones, and we need to find them and return them.
Okay. What bones?
Magic saint bones.
Okay.
For all
Right, you
intents
agree.
and purposes, we'll do a quick little thing with Tithla.
No, she doesn't need it. That was enough. Magic
God,
bones.
just do. All right, let's go abuse Miljevosh.
Irina and Ismark leave, heading towards town to the Blue Water Inn. As you guys head upstairs, you find Miljevosh indeed polishing silverware. You can see he's actually polishing a group of candlestick, cleaning out the wax, cleaning up the area, and then polishing the silver candles with quite a lot
Polishing the
of
silverware is
force.
a euphemism.
No, he's genuinely actually polishing the silverware because like all the candles, after a while, the wax gets in and it can start to tarnish it because of the acidity difference. So he's there like cleaning it off, making sure they're in good nick. As you approach him though, we're going to jump back to Grinner because we need to know how Grinner's doing. So Grinner, your constitution saving throws. You started off with a 9. That's not a great start. Grinner, as you get about halfway through the bottle, the room begins to swim around you and you find yourself sort of like swaying backwards and forwards a little bit dizzily. As that happens, you notice as you go to take another swig, a small hand suddenly grabs your hand and pulls the bottle down. And as you look towards your right, you can see Thorn, the small child that you rescued from the Durst Manor. Well, I should say rescued, the ghost that you laid to rest from the Durst Manor.
Rescued.
Yeah, yeah. You can see that he is, quite like partially transparent, quite ghostly. You can see partly through him. And as he lowers your hand and puts on the table, he looks up at you. Grinner, what are you doing? You don't need to do this.
What would you know about it? You're a kid, right? What?
Technically, I've been dead a lot longer than you've been alive. I've been around a very long time. My sister and I, we've seen a lot of shit. We've been around a very long time. All those people who came through the manor, those people who were taken, killed by the various creatures inside. I've seen darkness, Grinner. Just like you.
Well, how the fuck do you deal with it? Right? If it's got... You gotta squish it down, right? The only way to deal with it is to squish it down. You gotta fucking force it right down low, and the only way I know how to do that is with a bottle.
As you blink, suddenly, Thorn's gone, as if he was never there.
I look down at my hand. Is the mark still on my hand?
Yes. Yeah. The small handprint.
Oh, fuck's sake. I'm gonna...
Take another drink.
He is, but it takes him a long time to do it. He's probably gonna sit there staring at the bottle for a while. And then he's gonna look down at the table. What's written on the table?
Rictavio. But you've spelt it Ractavio.
Ractavio.
The I was giving you a bit of trouble.
I think
The easiest of the letters to carve.
Well, no, because he went for the double pull to like embolden, and the two different angles. So now it looks like an A.
I think he's probably going to stand up or stagger up.
Yep.
Kind of look down at his hand again and go, oh, fuck. I'm too fucking broken for this shit. And he's going to tip some of his bottle out and then stop halfway, have a big old swig of it, mumble something about Ractavio, and start wandering in the direction that he came from. As
you take another big swig, the second con save 23. The alcohol, for some reason, doesn't seem to have as much of an effect, Grinner. As you swig this down, you're expecting to feel that burn and then the warm buzz, but nothing happens. In fact, the alcohol kind of tastes almost a bit bland in your mouth. There's no gentle warmth from the whiskey. Well, I shouldn't say gentle warmth. This stuff's paint thinner. There's no brutal like sharpness, burning sensation. And then as you look, you now see Rose standing there with her hand slowly pulling the bottle away. And as she places it down on the table, she puts a hand on your shoulder. Grinner, your friends, they need you right now. You can't be like this, Grinner. It wasn't your fault. You didn't know. You need to channel it into something you can do. This wasn't your fault. But you know whose fault it was.
Yeah. I'm no good to them, right? I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to know what I'm doing with all the military stuff, right? Nothing that I have done has been useful to them in any way, right? I'm getting in the way. I'm causing a fucking mess. Just let me drown it.
No.
Oh.
Well, I'm going to try and have another swig.
She takes the bottle out of your hands with some strength, places it down firmly on the table. No.
Oh.
Grinner. No.
Girl, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm not cut out for this. It's all piling up inside.
You're right. It's too much for one person to deal with. Anyone else would fall apart.
I look down at my hands, which are absolutely shaking at this point. Yeah, me too, I think.
That's okay.
I think I'm falling apart.
That's okay, Grinner. That's all right. That's normal. That's healthy. You need to face this and get through it. Because this wasn't your fault. You can't do anything about what's happened. But you can stop anyone else falling into those witches' cookpots. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
You know those witches wanted you to pass a message to the Burgomaster. Pass a different message.
Yeah. Fuck. All right. Where are the others?
I don't know. I can only see what you can see.
What? Fuck.
Here's what you need to do. You need to have some water. Both drinking and wash yourself off. You stink like whiskey. You need to have a little bit of food. You need to take the next half an hour to get yourself as sober as you can.
To be fair, he also probably smells like pie ovens too. We haven't really
No,
washed.
probably not anymore.
I don't think. Yeah, look, you're right about drowning in the booze, but I don't think I'm quite ready to be totally sober either.
You don't have to be totally sober, just passably. Fair enough?
Can I just look around? I know I'm upstairs and it was fairly empty. Is there anyone else up here?
No, no one else is upstairs with you, but as you have a bit of a look around, could you make me a perception check with disadvantage on account of you being pissed?
Yes, I can.
And technically hallucinating.
Well, I can't do much worse than that.
3. 19. So we'll take the 3 because it's with disadvantage.
And
then a natural 1 that you get out of the way. You didn't need to roll, but it's gone now. 3. As you have a bit of a look around, no one seems to be looking at you. Nah, you're fine. Nah, you don't need to worry.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go have a wash.
Yes.
I just kind of stagger off. I try to pat her on the head. I'm assuming it goes straight through. Just kind of stagger her.
As you go to pat her on the head, there's a moment of resistance before it then passes through. She gives a bit of a sad smile. You need to get a bit stronger, Grinner. Then Thorn and I can do a bit more. We can help a bit more.
Yeah, you're already helping more than you know, child. Wander downstairs.
As you get downstairs, you pass by a few other patrons who give you a bit of a look, but don't really say anything as you walk past. As you approach the bartender, Owen, this long dark-haired man with a very long, very Patrick Rothfuss black beard with streaks of grey through it. Yeah, good reference. Finish your fucking 3rd book, Patrick.
You do you. Don't give me peer pressure, you know.
Doors of Stone. Finish it.
It's been, what, 15 years?
It's been... Look, I'm not waiting to the heat death of the universe, which clearly you're comfortable with. Look, if you need a hand, Brandon Sanderson pumps out a book a year. Go ask him for a helping hand.
Look, we just need him to die and Brando can finish it.
Yeah, fucking love Brandon Sanderson.
It's a Wheel of Time.
Yeah, Wheel of Time. Jesus Christ.
Die?
We're not saying that Patrick Rothfuss should die. I'm not saying that. I love Name of the Wind and the Wise Man's
I
Fear.
can't believe you would say that, Owen.
I do want you to finish Doors of Stone, though, for the love of God. It's not like we don't see you doing like D&D stuff and doing random shit. We know you're out there doing stuff.
Loves a Minecraft stream.
Finish Doors of Stone, or at least come on this podcast as a guest rather than other ones. I'll accept that. I'll stop hassling you.
Hasn't he written it twice by now?
What was that? Sorry.
Hasn't he finished it twice by now and thrown it out and started again or something like that?
I don't want to hear that. That's gonna make my blood boil, and I'm just gonna turn this stream into like
He
hunting
definitely
down a
finished it
villager called
once.
Ratrick Bothfuss. You're just gonna have to hunt him as the new festival.
Around, and people were like, "Is that really what you want to do?"
Are you sure, buddy?
Yeah,
no.
and then started again. I think.
Do you want a hand, mate? Are you okay? Patrick, this is a heartfelt plea to you. Are you alright, buddy? Do you need
He
hands?
wrote a lot of checks he has to cash in that last book, because so far on the back of that first book's blurb, he has cashed none of those. 0 dead kings for a King Killer Chronicle.
No dead kings, that's true.
No Barrow
No
Rides,
kings.
no princesses saved.
That's a good
A lot
point.
of
Actually.
sexy cash.
That's good. That's a good
Not much
point.
time.
There's a lot of the word Reshi, but we we need a bit more than that.
Yeah.
But it's
Anyway.
such a fun name.
It is. It is. I did love the twist of that. Basically, the entire book is just like one dude gets fucked over by a tree.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's literally just the catech.
Funniest and real
It's
dick
just
of a tree.
one dude's entire life derailed by a malevolent tree.
To be fair, it's pretty much the entire world's life derailed by a malevolent tree.
Yeah, it's true. Malevolent tree fucks things up.
Yeah.
One
That's
world, one
fantastic.
tree. There we go. I've written Doors of Stone for you. There you go. It's done. As you get down towards the bar, Grinner, you see Owen as he looks towards you, gives a bit of a peek. We had a bargain. You were not going to get in anyone's way. Did you need more whiskey?
Whose fucking way am I in right now?
I'm not suggesting you were. I was just making sure that our deal is still up if you're asking for more alcohol. You've gone through an entire bottle of moonshine, and I need to make sure you're not just going to collapse and die on my floor.
How much money do I have left? Or did I put down? I mean,
You good for another half bottle?
I gave you 15 fucking gold.
I'm assuming you're going to be spending the night here. I've also factored in the cost of a room, food, and breakfast.
I mean, all right. Oh, we need.
To be fair, the man wants to go through 2 full bottles of whiskey. He's not leaving.
We need. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 more rooms or 6 more rooms, something like that.
Have you got friends?
Yeah.
Can do that.
Right. Okay.
The money you've put down's enough for that. I'll just take off
right.
the cost of food. You can organise food yourselves, but the cost of rooms we can cover that. That's not a problem.
Well, I also need. What do I need? A bath.
As you look down towards your left, Thorn is standing there. And he goes, "Water, Grinner. You need water."
What? Fuck, kid, you just keep popping up. Can you see that?
Owen looks at you, looks down to where you're looking, goes, I think your decision to switch the rest of your coin to rooms was a good one. If you're seeing things, I think you've had enough, sir.
No, well, I'm seeing things that are definitely there to me, so that's what counts most of all. Look, the little one here is telling me that I need some water. Can you put that into something bath-sized that I could get into?
Yes, we've got a washroom out the back. I can organise a bath for you.
All
You need some
right.
water to drink as well.
No, just the same water will do is fine. Don't worry about it.
God, he's gonna drink Grinner tea. Eventually gonna dunk his bag in there and then drink it. Not a tea bag.
Too far on.
Too far? Oh,
Although
sorry.
it is called teabagging.
Good to know where the line is. It is.
And I keep for what was
I
food?
blame this Shiraz pale. It is doing weird things to me.
That's a bizarre sentence.
Yeah. It's a bizarre beer.
I also need some food, I think. And how much would it cost to get everybody food for breakfast in the morning?
Food for breakfast will set you back for what, 5-6 people? Did you say?
Yeah, something like that. Don't make me try and count it again.
Just look. I'll give you everything you need. Food, drink. 2 gold to cover everyone.
Right. I'll pass over 2 more gold.
You've paid over a fair bit. Thank you. Takes it over. What was your name? I'll write it down on the tab in case the missus is managing it.
Put it down as put down Grinner.
Grinner. Right, say the name.
Right.
I'll run a bath for you. Just give me a minute. I'll get the missus to come cover the front.
Alright. I'll
Hot
follow
water
you,
or
I
cold?
guess. Well, I can't drink it if it's hot, can I? It's a fucking stupid question.
No, you can. If anything, you'll get hydrated quicker.
It doesn't taste very good, though, to be fair. Cold water, it might help me with the swimming. The world is swimming, not me swimming in the water.
Come, take a seat in the bathroom, lad. I'll fill up the bathtub. Come to the washroom. He leads you through a set of double doors at the side of the bar that are locked. He actually goes and unlocks them and brings you through to a rather small bathroom. There is a wash basin as well as a privy in the far wall. The wash basin is this large copper tub that he immediately goes and begins filling from a barrel of water that's raised up and has a pipe leading down towards it. Looks like this is filled from water that condenses and rains on the roof. So it's this very crisp, clean rainwater. As he fills up the bath and you sink into it, it's extremely cold on account of it being Barovia and the sun almost never shining. As you lower yourself into this frigid, cold rainwater bath and just sort of like half submerge your face and then just sip it occasionally, you find yourself feeling a bit more refreshed. We'll take that last Constitution saving throw to try and throw off the effects of the alcohol. 20. You begin feeling a lot better. Well, I say better. You begin feeling a lot less shit-faced. We're more heading into tipsy at this stage.
I like that. Once I get to that sort of level, I jump back out of the bath so I don't get any more sober.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, so you're quite tipsy at this stage. Yeah. Still buzzing as you get back in your clothes. As Erwin comes back in to check on you and sees you out of the bath, he's like, "All right, well, okay, I'll empty the bath water back out then. Not a problem."
No, hold on, not yet. I'm gonna before I get into my clothes, start washing them in the bath after me.
You're gonna be walking around chilly, lad.
Well, better than walking around smelling like the places that I've been. All right.
Can I don't know why I'm doing this. Can I offer you a pair of breeches and a tunic? I'll dry those near the fire, and you can pick them up when you come back.
Yeah, if you got something real fit.
Yeah,
right.
I've got some clothes I can lend you. You're no good to me if you just fucking die in the streets from hypothermia.
I mean, sorry, he's exactly as good for you otherwise.
That's true. Then I could take your coin purse and not have to worry about you. No, he doesn't say that.
I'm looking forward to both hyperthermia and hypothermia.
Yeah, we're gonna have both. Yeah,
With our powers combined,
we are a normal, uninjured person.
So I guess I'll grab his clothes and try to wander out.
You grab his clothes, you start taking clothes off. Oh, you didn't see my clothes. No. He walks back and hands you a rather loose-fitting tunic and some pants, which only go about sort of like halfway down your shin. So you're like just walking barefoot through the town. Yeah, 3/4 exactly, like 3/4 pants. As you wander through the town, just in literally a loose-fitting tunic and these slightly tighter pants. Grinner, you get the distinct impression that these are lost and found. He still has you. Like they don't match. You don't think they're his clothes. You don't know where these would come from, but yeah, he takes your clothes.
Grinner's never cared about fashion, so that's fine.
Just as well. He hangs your clothes up near the fire. They start drying off. You can see a bit of steam coming off them, and he then leads you back out.
So do we see a weirdly dressed Grinner walk out onto the street as we are walking down the road?
Exactly. As you guys approach the Blue Water Inn later on, you'll see Grinner just like walking towards you. But for the moment, you guys are back in the church. We're going to jump back to Theodore, Jonor, Luther, and Tithla. As you approach Miliavosh, who is currently cleaning the old dried wax off of some candlesticks and trying to polish some of the stains and discoloration away, he turns around, sees a lot of you, and holds one of the candlesticks back a bit. What you want? Huh?
This is overly aggressive, Mr. Miliavosh. We only want to talk.
You're not supposed to be up here. No one's supposed to be up here. What are you doing up here?
Well, then why are you up here?
I'm supposed to be up here. I'm supposed to be cleaning this shit. What are you doing up here?
We got permission from the priest to come up here.
Gives you a bit of a look. Seems to sort of assess that you're not lying. Lowers the candlestick and places it down on the table.
Very jumpy for someone just cleaning candles.
I didn't know who you were. You just suddenly appeared behind me.
We've already had conversations before. You know who we are.
Yeah, I know who you are. I vaguely know who the lot of you are.
Yeah.
Hi. I guess we should have announced ourselves as we're walking up the stairs.
We said hi.
Maybe that's
what more could we have done for him, Jonor? Did not excuse his behavior. He's very aggressive.
Look, how am I supposed to know that I can trust you? Right, strangers only mean one thing in Barovia. Trouble. Either you cause trouble or you are a magnet for it.
Okay. Well, so you can say that if you want, but at the end of the day, we're actually we're helping out the priest or something. That's what
Something.
brings us here.
Oh, he's got you chasing the bones, has he? He won't even talk to me about it, but he'll talk to some strangers.
Well, yes, because we obviously were not in the tower and the bones were stolen, so it could not have been us.
We're an impartial presence here.
Just because
You
you
don't have
didn't
a stake.
steal them doesn't mean you can be trusted. Even if you recover them, how are we supposed to know that you're going to bring them back?
What am I going to do? Juggle them?
I will bring out
Sell
my
them.
amulet. I'll bring out my amulet.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I look at him.
He, seeing the amulet, he pauses and goes, "Sorry, I
I myself
didn't realize.
am,
Yeah, I'm
it's
sorry.
okay. No,
Obviously,
no,
I didn't
you
realize.
You didn't obviously know. But I promise you, and I look at him like there's like almost like a not intensity, but like I promise you, like we will not steal those bones. It would go against everything I believe in.
Right. Look, I'm sorry. It's just track record with people coming through who are not from here. It's not good. You've got to understand that people are trouble. Always.
I want to
People are
help
trouble.
this. Look, I look at him in the eye. I want to help out this church. I want to see it be brought back to its former glory. I know you toil as long as you can around the grounds, but you don't have the gold or the resources you need to get it back, and it's falling into disrepair. I want to help that if I can, but right now, how I can help is find these bones. Do you have anything that you can tell us? Any information that can help us with this investigation?
Make me a persuasion check, please, Luther.
Damn, I suck at persuasion.
1, where are the bones? 2, give me the bones.
3, you're dead. Ha!
Yeah, 8.
Is that the thinking? 8. I want to help. I don't want anything to happen to Yeska, and I don't want anything to happen to Father Lucian. Like, he's a good man at the end of the day. He tries his hardest, and even though I don't agree with how he diverts the funds that come into the church, I still know that he does want what's best for the people here and for the people of Alaki. And you've got to understand, my primary interest is making sure that Yeska and my brother and sister are safe.
Always. And I'll help with that as well.
I'd like to
Oh, you go.
step forward, grab him by the scuff of his shirt,
Okay.
push him against the wall, and like, so you'd steal the bones for money to protect your siblings, would ya?
How strong are you, Theodore?
+1. I have +1 on strength, actually.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
As
You
you
have to go to Bob.
Yeah. push him back into the wall, he sort of is a bit surprised and taken aback, and as he like grabs your hands, and
I'm
then,
surprised you're taking it back.
yeah, as he grabs your
Good
hands
cop,
and
bad cop.
pushes you off. I don't know who took. I didn't take the bones. All right, it wasn't me. I was offered
I sort of
to steal them. Someone approached me and asked me to do it, and told me about them and handed me money. And I handed it back and told them they could fuck themselves.
I'll come in. I'll sort of just get in between you guys, not push you off. Like I'm not pushing you off and being aggressive. I'm just like, okay, let's calm down here for a sec, and then
Who told you about the bones?
I don't know who they were. All right, some grunt man. I don't know, 40s, maybe early 50s. Had a scar. One of his ears was like half cut off. I've not really seen him around before. I don't know who he was, but claimed that his employer, whoever that was, had taken note of me and that I could do this town and my family a lot of good if I could get the bones of St Andral out of the church. I didn't even know that there were bones under the church before this, alright? Yeska didn't tell me.
Who did
So
you
for this
tell?
money... Sorry, you go.
Do you?
Look,
Do you
I am
think-
feeling pretty good about him, but I'm going to do a quick insight check. So
Yeah.
continue, Tithla. I'll just do an insight check on that.
Do you think that maybe he didn't tell you so that when this situation arose, you wouldn't know where they were?
Yeska's only like 8 or 9. He's not a fucking criminal mastermind. He's not involved in this at all.
But who did he tell?
I don't know
No, but
who
he
he
was
told.
protecting you by not telling you.
Look, I don't think.
Maybe.
I personally don't think the boy is probably at fault here, but this man. He obviously didn't tell you who his employer was, but what type of clothes was he wearing? Were they a bit more? Was it common sort of traveling clothes? Was he a bit more? Was he wearing nice clothes?
No, it was like traveling clothes. It had like an overcoat lined with wool on the inside. It looked a bit expensive to me, but old, patched, like he'd had it for a long time or something.
Have you ever taken your boots off recently?
Boots? No, I mean, sure, like when I take my boots off when I go inside most of the time. I try to,
You
anyway.
leave them unattended.
Well, no, they're a pair of Father Lucian's old boots. No, I mean, sure, I leave them unattended all the time.
Sorry, just one moment, please, good sir.
Okay.
Just wait, Theo. And Tithla's whispering, Theo, why do we care about the boots?
You can stage whisper.
Why do we care about the boots?
There was footprints.
Okay. Oh, we want to match them.
We already have matched them.
Tell me about the boots.
They're a pair of
Tell her about the
Father...
boot. She's crazy.
They're a pair of Father Lucian's old boots. I can't afford new boots, and Father Lucian gives me ones when they're worn out, all right, as part of his payment for me taking care of the grounds.
When did he last give you boots?
I don't know, a few months ago. He's had his new set for maybe, I don't know, 5-6 weeks or something. I've had this lot since then. They're his old boots. I had a pair of that before them, but they got a hole in them, and I was struggling with it. I tried to patch it with some old leather, and it wasn't working. I got an injury to my foot in the yard, and Father Lucian said I could have another pair of his old boots, and he bought some new boots.
Seems awfully kind of him. Why would you stab him in the back?
I would never stab him in the back. He's been kind to Yeska and to me. Well, he's been average to me. He takes it out of my pay. Like, he didn't just give me the boots for free. Like, he gave them to me at a discounted rate, sure, but he could still pay me less for that period of time.
That's quite a weird. It's quite a little weird thing about the priest.
No, I couldn't afford a pair of new boots. He was happy to give me a pair of his secondhand for a little bit of money out of my pay, because he had to then use that to buy new boots. Stuff's expensive here. Stuff is hard to make.
But I thought that being part of the church and such, he would be more than happy to help. Well, why is he taking it out of your pay? It's a priest. His whole thing is helping out the people around him.
Look, I told you, I don't agree with how he spends a lot of the money. When he could be spending it on upgrading the church, he's spending it on all sorts of random things that I don't see any purpose for. Like, he had part of the garden refurbished with all these strange plants that I didn't know the names of or what they were. I've had to try and keep them alive. He keeps coming taking cuttings from them every so often. Says that they're medicine or something.
Which ones? Would you be able to please show us?
Yeah, I can take you to the garden bed. That's not a problem. Yeah, that's fine.
Before we do that, though, I got one last question. This person that you met, the 40 and the 50s, the older man, do you know what his rough heart was, a potential weight? I know it's a bit hard to gauge, but can you give me just a quick little descriptor? Yeah,
a little bit taller than me, maybe 190, 195, so just over 6 foot, maybe 6'1".
Dude.
Fucking bulging muscles, and had a sword strapped to his side, looked like a bastard sword, long blade, chipped a bit though.
I call that a Miliavosh sword.
A Miliavosh sword.
And how heavy set? So he's obviously bulging muscles, very heavy set.
Yeah, dude was jacked as shit.
And this was the first time you've seen someone with this sort of body walking around in town.
I didn't say that. I said it's the first time I'd seen this guy's face before. There's other people in town. A number of the guards that work for the Wachters, they're fucking huge, and I would not mess with them, ever. A lot of them are rough.
Looks like a guard for the Wachters?
I didn't say that. I just said that he could be. Like, he looks like some of the guards that they've employed in the past.
Yeah, well, it sounds like the Wacht is probably the next go-to for us.
Would you be able to identify this man if we took you with us and made you look at this man?
I think we probably don't need to bring young Milos here. We have a pretty good descriptor. He has a scarred. He's missing part of his ear and such, and he's scar. And
that's true.
I think we got it down pat. if we start bringing around Milosh, might cause a bit more. It might bring more eyes to our investigation.
Shall we kill Miliavosh then, just to be sure?
What the fuck?
That's a joke. I'm pretty sure he's joking there, Milosh. I wouldn't worry about that.
They are.
What do? Okay, no, we will not murder Miliavosh.
Remember what you taught me.
Murder
Wait
Miliavosh.
until they can't see you. No, sorry.
Wait until Luther's not looking.
No, only when they deserve it.
Yes, this is meant as a
How does
bond.
Jonor feel about all this?
Yeah, well, this whole talk of murder.
You're right, it's not buying, sorry.
Right.
Yeah,
in front of their face. That's an interesting strategy.
What was that? Sorry. What was that? Sorry, Top?
That is an interesting strategy if you murder right. Tell them they're going to murder right in front of their face. But is that how you feel?
Yes, no, not really. I was just trying to see if he'd spill any beans if I threatened him with murder.
Well, we were
Do you want me to start making shit up? Is that what you want? Do you want me to start lying and saying that, I don't know, if I can saw Lady Wachter flitter down on fairy wings and take the bones?
Yes,
Clearly-
that would be good.
Clearly want to go after her.
Why
Well,
would you
um,
want to go after her?
You were trying to say that it was a Wachter guard. I don't know that it was. It could
Oh,
have been.
you brought up the Wachter guards? We did not put these
I didn't
words
say
in your mouth.
Wachter guards. I said guards. It looks like some of the guards around town. You're the ones who started going on about the Wachters.
You said Wachter guard.
I said
Look,
like the
We're getting
Wachter guards.
we're getting ahead of ourselves here. How about we go outside and do what we're going to do just before we had this conversation, like about the older man.
Can we go and look at the garden?
Yep, that's the one. Let's go check out these plants.
Oh,
it
yeah,
just
that. Sorry, I've had the poppy seed milk.
No, yeah, you'll be loopy as.
Oh, that's something else the father spends money on. What does that shit even do? It's like this weird, like white liquid. He claims it like stops the pain. That's
Does
not
he
how
ever
pain
drink it
works.
himself?
How does pain work? Would you please enlighten me?
Yeah, do you have a
Oh.
doctorate in pain?
No, but if you're hurt, you just patch it up. It gets better on its own. Or you drink some alcohol. Problem solved.
Yeah, okay, so you know the
You do not-
alcohol?
you do not seem like a medically trained professional.
No, I'm not. Neither's the priest. Keep that in mind. Fucking plays it, doctor, but he's got no actual medical training.
I mean,
Yeah,
our
but-
friend here is walking around now when previously she was kind of crispy.
I'm still very crispy.
Yeah. See? How great a doctor is he then?
I'm pretty
Look, see,
good.
You're really not convincing me not to murder you, Miliavosh.
I'm starting to come around.
Does the priest ever drink the milk of Poppy by himself?
I don't know. Maybe. I haven't seen him do it. But he buys a lot of it. I don't know what he's using it all on.
Probably for pain.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
you know how the alcohol helps with the pain?
No. Feels good.
Yeah, that's what I said. You have the alcohol, the pain goes away.
Yeah.
Yep.
The milk of the poppy seed is like that, but stronger for worse pain.
Wait, so you're saying if I drink that, I can get drunk much quicker?
No,
Oh,
you'll be
yes.
very, very loopy. You see how I sound right now, and I'm not making sense, and it's like I'm not myself.
No, that's...
Wait, you don't know
No.
me.
we do, and this is pretty normal.
Wait, what?
Nothing to
Anyway, I've only had just a little bit.
I think we've gotten a lot of the information we can out of this young strapping man. So I think we should go to that herb bush.
I'll take you down to the garden.
Let's check out the
that he's
garden. Let's go.
Put in.
Just so we can have a look at what he's planting, and maybe
Yeah,
I
sure.
can help
Whole bunch of
explain some of it to
Strange
you.
plants that need a shitload of water. A lot more fertilizer than the others. Yeah, I'll lead you there. Right.
The shit plants need the shit, ah?
Ah!
Ah?
Ah! He
Tithla
leads you
stands there going, ah?
like 2 solid minutes, and then you turn around, everyone's gone. Ah! As Milivoje leads you down the stairs back out through the front, he takes you around the side of the church. You can see, indeed, there looks to be a fresh garden bed that's been planted and set up. It's been very well cared for. You can see that Milivoje has put in a lot of time and effort to maintain it. The plants, there's a couple of sections where leaves have been cut and stems have been taken, a few places where some roots have been dug up, and as Milivoje gestures over the plants, he This is them. This is the plants that the priest spent like, I don't know, like 40 gold pieces acquiring. Can you imagine what I could have done with 40 gold pieces? I could have updated the windows. I could have fixed the roof. I could have fixed the bell tower.
Conducted a bone heist.
I didn't
No,
steal.
so you wouldn't need to do the heist if he'd had the gold. I think that's what he's trying to say.
I think if you are getting 40 gold pieces for Saint Bones, you're a pretty poor bone salesman.
Shit, I should have asked for more. No, he doesn't say that. Obviously. Tithla,
Can
did
I
you
roll
want
it?
to? Yeah.
Oh,
Tithla or Theodore, did you want to roll a medicine or survival check to see if you can identify these plants or nature?
Or can Tithla please roll a medicine check
Yes.
with some sort of boon, given she's just spent time specifically with this guy
and I would-
practicing on these medicines.
And I would agree, were it not for the fact that you're now loopy as batshit on opium, which you yourself argued for not 10 seconds ago, Jacob. That's come back to
When it
bite you in the
suits.
ass, hasn't it? Yeah, medicine, nature, or survival. Anyone who wants
If
to roll.
you want to do it, Jacob,
Well,
I'll give you I'll give you some help on identifying them.
which gives you
How would-
advantage.
Which would you like me to do? Medicine, nature, or survival?
Everyone has your highest number.
Well, they're all the same.
Which is what?
+5.
Then go.
Is
Nature,
nature
I
really
think
plus
that's-
5? Fucking hell.
Uh-huh.
You're an intelligent little gobbo.
Uh-huh. You
That's
can't call me that,
Definitely
though.
racist.
We're gonna go. No, we're gonna go
Tithla,
medicine. We've just
I'm
been
your
looking at medicine
subconscious.
stuff.
That's what you think
That
of
wasn't
yourself.
good. That
as.
was a 1.
That was a natural one.
You have advantage.
Lucky you have advantage.
Oh, yeah, go me.
It was thanks to Haz.
Yeah,
You're just
14.
14. Yeah, I mean, not ideal. As you look over these plants, Tithla, you recognize a number of them. You can see there's some ginger. You can see there is some. Let's have a quick look at my medicinal plants list. There's some king's foil, classic. Thank you, Lord of the Rings. There's some winter bloom and some. Can't even read my own handwriting anymore. I'm going to call that shale bark. There's a couple of different plants that he's planted. A few that you do recognize, some that you don't, that all appear to be medicinal plants. And as you look at the ones that you recognize, you know that they have different medicinal qualities. Like the ginger is really good for helping to settle an upset stomach. King's foil is really good for an open wound to help stem the bleeding and also to help slow down bleeding and speed up coagulation and wound closure. The shale barks are really good antiseptic to wash your hands with. If you soak the bark and the leaves and then wash your hands in it, it's a good antiseptic. So all of these plants that you recognize, these are medicinal plants, and you get the sense that these would be pretty rare in Barovia.
Tithla, so
my
you
friend.
recognize a lot of these.
Yes. I do recognize some of them, mostly because I've known about them for a long time. I'm gonna just roll a deception check,
Okay.
presuming she's only just learnt about them.
Yeah, 2 of them you've only just learnt about. 9. No, you
That's a
guys
9.
would all know just from the passive perceptions that Tithla's I mean, it was as convincing as Jacob was just then. So.
So very?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, great.
Tithla
so
fools
she'll
herself
say-
into thinking she's convincing.
She's high. She's fine.
Yeah.
My good friend, you see this king's foil here? You know how you said if you get hurt, you just wrap it up and you move on?
Yeah.
Have you ever put anything on that while you wrap it up?
I don't know, maybe bandages, keep it sealed, maybe a bit of fabric to seal the wounds, stop it
Yeah.
bleeding.
Yeah. Next time you cut yourself, I want you to come down here, grab a little bit of this king's foil, this one here, see? You just take off a little bit amount, and she just sort of indicates how much, doesn't actually tear it off. You just chew it up a little bit, nom, nom. Rub it in, rub it
Yum,
in.
yum.
She does that, nom, nom,
Yeah.
nom.
Yum, yum, yum.
Rub it in, and then wrap up the wound, okay? Now that's
Okay.
going to make it heal a lot faster. I know it sounds silly, but it's this kind of knowledge that we're trying to disseminate throughout the world, okay?
Okay.
Wow, I must be high. I just said the word disseminate.
It's this kind of knowledge we're trying to inseminate throughout. Wait, that's not right. Right, okay, cool. So the plants
Sorry.
are useful, sure, but they're not worth 40 gold, whatever it was that he had, 40 something gold, right?
Well, I think they might be because they can keep being reused.
Okay, I was wrong. The priest didn't waste his money.
Okay, I don't
And
feel
you stole
like
some
we're
bones?
really gonna.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't steal the bones.
You stole the bones.
It was
feel like-
you. It
feel
really
like
wasn't.
we're not
though.
getting
No, it
anywhere
was
with
you.
this.
All right, let's ditch Millie Vosh.
As in, when you say
again,
ditch, do you mean like
he's right in
kill him
front
and
of us.
throw him in a ditch, or walk away?
No,
No,
leave him
that's
behind.
called doing a
Let's go
ditch.
find our drunk and go potentially assault an old woman.
Right.
My friend, I'm sorry. I don't normally hang out with these people.
Is this all you hang out with?
Shut up.
We're old friends. You go back many years.
Okay, yeah, but the others.
Remember Jonor? He tried to buy you.
That's true. We do go back way. You're
Yeah,
right. We are a
yeah.
trustworthy group. Do you have any children?
I've got a brother
No,
and a
like,
to be
sister.
bought or
No,
buy.
please don't listen to him. You don't have to worry about me. I'm not going to buy children here. It's just...
We're going to buy children here.
Why did you add that
It's a
proviso?
qualifier.
Wait, is that why you stole the bones, Jonor, so you could sell them to buy the child?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Yeah, completely true.
I knew it.
Yeah,
It's
this
on.
Are a much more
Mysteries
efficient way of
solved.
buying children.
Another mystery solved by Tithla the... And then she falls over.
But
Looks like you
seriously,
could use some of
Jonor,
that
did you
stuff
steal the
yourself
bones?
there.
Did you steal the bones?
Gee, wow, that's really impressive, Tithla. But you think I might have taken the bones.
Well, you just said you
Sounds-
did, so...
Look, I thought that, I was maybe not the best with the humor, but I can just maybe put you a little bit lower than I am on that front if you're not picking up that one.
Yeah, that might be
Savage.
best, thank
Kick
you.
some soil out of the shins.
Sorry, 1 second. Theo?
Hmm?
Theo,
Yes.
come here. Come down, bend down. Did he make a short joke?
No,
that what that was?
he would never.
Is that what that was? Are you sure?
No, but we should kill him anyway.
We should kill him?
Later.
I feel like my hands aren't really my hands at the moment.
God, I'm
As you
so
look at
sure
them,
to
they're a
kill
lot
so
bigger than
quickly.
you remembered.
I don't remember having 3 hands on each wrist.
But you're fine. You're fine. You're just a bit groggy from the popping.
I don't think
Exactly.
that's how opium works. I mean, I don't know, but I don't think that's how it works.
It could. You don't know.
I don't know.
Tithla's
been-
also a goblin, so her anatomy will react differently.
Actually, that's up to me, so I say it doesn't.
Okay, then what is it like? What is she experiencing?
She's only got 2 hands on each wrist, so no.
On each
I've only got
wrist?
2 hands.
That's 4 hands.
Less than normal.
Probably as you look, like the vision's blurring a little bit. You're finding it hard to focus. Every so often, like things sort of seem to
Hence
zoom
the
in
3
and out a little
hands.
bit as your focus tends to shift. Everything tastes really bright, and you're finding that the light around you can sometimes be a bit bright as your pupils dilate.
Have you noticed that Jonor's words make you thirsty?
Women have.
Is that something you've noticed as well?
So unnecessary. Why was that needed?
Jonor just stares at him in confusion.
Just the most unnecessary attack.
It's our party's lady, man.
It's just so harsh. Yeah, women need a lot of alcohol to be around Jonor. It's just
That's
so
not what I
mean.
meant, actually. But
Oh,
He's got
okay.
the opposite.
yeah.
He's got the opposite.
Okay.
He gets thirsty.
Okay, in that case, then I take it back. I thought you were being really harsh. I was like, fuck it
No,
hell.
I'll promote him to party ladies, man.
Gotcha. I misunderstood. I heard when I heard you say that women drinks around Jonor, I was like, to stand his like to stand him, and he's like just his personality and his like appearance there.
The wings are a big turn off.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And then, so I think Tithla would sort of turn around a little bit and she'd be wondering. And eventually so then next she'll say, I'm really just not sure that Jonor's words are as loud, and I'm just not sure that the words mean what the words used to mean. But today, the words that aren't words, I think he's lying about words. And she's accidentally whispering into Jonor's ears. Thinking that it's Theo.
Yeah, I think you've had lots
her
of
like a baby
coffees today. We can talk about this. That's okay. You can tell me all about how you feel. Let's get going. And I turn her around, and we start walking away.
I pick her up off of you.
I'm cheap.
Jesus, as I'm just going to put a pin in that. As you guys begin walking down the main street, you see Grinner walking towards you wearing a very loose-fitting tunic and essentially like pirate slacks, like 3/4 pants that are a bit tight.
Just
Puppy sleeves.
Yeah.
He's kind of like
yeah.
He's swerving slightly and lighting a cigarette.
And occasionally it looks like he like holds out his hand as if he's holding someone's hand and gets like brought back on the right track as occasionally Rose and Thorn help like grab your hand and lead you back into the right pathway as you're walking. Grinner, as you're walking down, Thorn suddenly looks. Grinner, I can see your friends. I can see the people. I can see Jonor, I can see Theodore, I can see... Oh, Tithla's just being carried. Is she okay?
No, she's not alright.
I'm great.
Tithla's just yelling that down the street.
20 meters away, Tithla hears that and shouts it out as her like...
I'm great.
You don't hear that. You don't hear that, Grinner. You guys just... Tithla suddenly calls out, I'm great, like with no context.
Any more of that poppy stuff?
If Milk of the Poppy allows Tithla to just randomly see my two ghosts. It's just like opened up the world.
I will think about it. Tithla, can you roll me a D100, please? I'm giving it a percentage chance.
Can you decree it?
Why?
Because I just feel like it raises the stakes. 87!
I set it at a 20% chance of happening. Tithla, walking alongside Grinner are the two children that you saw in the Durst Manor, Rose and Thorn. Partially transparent, definitely ghosts.
Hey Tithla, no one's ever gonna fucking believe you.
I hate kids. What's going on? Just like, what's going on?
Tithla, you're okay. You need to have a bit more to drink.
Rose?
Rose and Thorn look a bit confused. They go, can she see us, Grinner?
Yeah, I can see you. Why wouldn't I be able to see you?
Grinner, she can hear us.
Yeah? You know, you don't have to just talk about me. I'm a real goblin.
Hold on, Tithla, you can fucking see them.
Right, of course I can fucking see them.
Can the rest of you...
Yeah, the rest of you can't.
Grinner, what I think I can smell the alcohol in your breath from here. What is with everyone and consuming things around here? That's I look around and see the shabby town. It's like, oh, look, that actually kind of makes a lot of sense. Grinner, how was the drink?
Hey, Rose, how did you get here?
Don't
worry about her, Grinner. She is a bit loopy from the painkillers. She's probably imagining some talking flowers or something. I don't know.
We came with Grinner. We're with him. We're traveling with him. Bruce and Thorn and I. We're some sort of like magic. I don't really know how it works, but we're like we can stay near him. And
that's really cool.
Do things.
Do you need some more friends?
Sure, Tithla. That sounds really fun.
That's cool. I've missed you guys.
How you fuck? You can fuck it. Oh, I'm not alone with these. I thought I wasn't. Tithla, you can see them. I wasn't 100% sure if I just made the fuckers up. But no, I'm sorry, kids. You're not fuckers. It's just this is it.
Yeah, Grinner, can you apologize?
I just fucking did. All right.
Oh, okay. I think, Thorn, you're a very special boy. Rose, you're a very special girl. Tithla, you're a very special girl. Goblin.
Goblin.
Grinner.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh. Hello.
You're a very special boy.
While these guys are having that chat, we'll turn to Theodore and Jonor.
Yeah.
And I'll go...
I was about to interrupt as well.
Guys, Do we need an intervention for both of them? He's reeking of liquor and maybe vomit, I think, a little bit.
Actually, no.
And
No, he was in a bath.
Well, he's drunk so much I can smell it. And Tithla is like, she had opioids or something? Are they okay?
I mean,
it is weird that it's a shared illusion, so that's quite different, but...
It is a new development for them, but they seem kind of happy about it.
And that's Rose and Thorn, the girls we dealt with.
Yeah,
in the
they're
manor.
ghosts. You guys realize that they're dead.
Yeah,
They can't see them.
Tithla
no.
starts skipping in circles with their arms out.
I'm kind of like trying to sidle. Like Tithla's obviously, having fun with the kids. I'm trying to interact with the adults, even though not very sober. I told you lot about them. I'm sure of it. Remember, we got here and then all of a sudden, poof, they got my head, right?
Do we see the child's palm on his palm?
No, you can't see any of that.
All
There's like a
right,
very
let's keep going.
faint mark, almost like a very light scar of a handprint on his arms, one on his left, one on his right.
Jonor,
Yeah.
are you alright? Not Jonor, sorry. Grinner, are you alright? You okay? Everything alright? I mean, where's your clothes? What happened to them? Why are you wearing this?
I had a bath, and the bloke. I got us all rooms, by the way. We were all set over there, and I had a bath, and old bloke said he'd wash my stuff for me. So I put him in the wash, and then he got these ones, and then I came out to find you lot because I thought a breath of fresh air might be the worst thing for me.
And a little bit of exercise is great for the body. Get everything moving, burn off that booze, that moonshine.
Yeah.
Well, you're obviously looking a bit better though, Grinner. Last time I saw you, you were in a bit of a state.
No, I'm fine, mate. I'm good. I got nothing wrong with me, eh? I'm all right.
But where is your clothes now? Like they're back at your room, I take it.
Yeah, they're dried off. What's wrong with these ones?
I mean, look, to be honest, like you look homeless right now. Like normally, like you already don't look the best sometimes. Grinner, to be honest, like I'm being frank.
Yeah. Well,
And you have is that does he actually have a bottle of the whiskey still in his hand?
No.
no, he's just got a cigarette half out of his mouth, as per usual.
The infinite cigarette quiver.
Yeah.
Infinite cigar case.
Should we go back to the Blue Water Inn and just recap real quick because I think our friends are back there as well. Ismark and Irina were coming to meet up with you, and now they won't find you there, so they might be worrying a little bit. But it would be good to have a quick rundown of everything that we've discovered and everything that we've come upon.
Yeah, we all right. I did see them in there. There's this bloke named Aardvark or some shit who wanted to talk to us, but
Aardvark?
yeah, something like that.
No.
I wrote it on a table. I got to go find the table that I wrote.
You wrote it on a table, okay. Perfect. How about we go there for now? Regroup. We do have a lot of things sort of going on at the moment.
Well, yeah,
And I'd rather not talk about this stuff in the middle of the street.
What time is it?
It's sort of getting to late afternoon at this stage.
So he's a day drinker at the moment.
Well, like when I say late
Sunday
afternoon,
sesh.
like 5:30.
Probably
Almost
good for everyone to have some dinner.
Don't knock a good breakfast beer, by the way.
Actually,
Breakfast bottle of whiskey.
there was a really nice beer that was a breakfast beer at the Gabs. In the real world, there was a breakfast beer. I'm trying to remember who it was by for the Great Australian Beer Spectacular. Spectacular. They do like a joke with tap in it. It's pretty funny. What was it? I have to try and find it. It was a really nice breakfast beer. It had like a little bit of quinoa in it and like these like really citrus notes. It was really nice. I know it doesn't sound like it'd be great, but it was fucking amazing. I would buy a case if I could. But it's one of those ones they only brew for the festival. Not
Go
like
on,
a Shiraz
further.
beer. It's super weird.
I know you
it's
haven't
gone
had
forever.
too many sips of that one so far.
Yeah, it's it turns out it's 3 standard drinks, so I'm feeling good.
Man.
I'm just like, yeah. I'm like Grinner right now. As you guys make your way back towards the Blue Water Inn and step inside, Arena and Ismark are just stepping out, and it's like, oh, we were looking for you. We spoke to the innkeeper. He said that he gave you a bath and gave you some clothes and sent you outside because you were looking for people. Never mind. We've got a table. Come on in. We've got a table saved for some food. We've ordered some food.
Oh, food. So yeah, all right.
Great. Yeah. Ismark leads you all back into the inn. Rather than taking you upstairs to the table where you were before, Grinner, they actually lead you to a dining table over towards the back northeastern corner of the room. Only one table away from Rictavio, who does appear to be still sitting there. You can see that he is currently looking through what looks to be some sort of journal. Green stained, this very dark green stained leather, and he's flicking through very slowly, occasionally sort of muttering to himself under his breath as he looks through this journal, keeping it angled away from prying eyes towards a wall so that no one can look into it. And as you all sort of stomp in and sit down, you can see Arena sitting there. In the middle of the table is a massive loaf of steaming fresh bread. You can see the steam rising from it. A massive block of cheese and a few sausages piled up, as well as some pickles and pickled onions. And as you'll take a seat around, Arena goes, I've got some bread. There's another fresh loaf coming as well. We have some butter, I think. Oh, yes. And one of the small lads who you saw before working for the innkeeper rushes over and places down a bowl of freshly churned butter. You can see there's a few herbs sprinkled on top of it. Arena gives him a big smile. Thank you so much, young man. So, no problem. And then rushes off again really, really quickly, this dark-haired young lad. Arena carves up some bread. Ismark helps hand it out. You will sit down and enjoy a lovely dinner.
Before I sit down, I'm probably just going to weave my way back upstairs to that table and read the name that I've written on the table.
Yeah. It could be Rictavio or Ractavio. You're not sure.
It's not Aardvark. I wander back downstairs again, and as I'm coming up to the table, I'm just going, it was Ractavio. He's that bloke that came in.
The dude who's literally sitting at the next table lowers his notebook, looks towards you, looks towards the rest of you, looks at Grinner and goes, Rictavio, if you were wondering.
Well,
yeah, that one. He's that one.
Oh, perfect.
You have business with our friend, Mr. Gunnar?
Hey? Yeah, he came over, he sat down for a little bit, then I told him to fuck off in not so many words.
No, I said that to Rictavio.
Yeah, he sort of gives you a bit of a wan
Grinner
smile.
says that as well anyway.
Yeah. Rictavio gives you a bit of a wan smile. Just saw your friend upstairs drinking alone with a full bottle. Just want to make sure he was okay, but clearly he wasn't, but didn't seem like he was going to be a problem for anyone else in here, so I decided to leave him alone. Wouldn't mind having a chat with the lot of you. You're clearly outlanders. But when you're ready, looks like you lot are having a catch-up. I'm not going to disturb your dinner. Enjoy your time. I'll catch up with a lot of you later.
Perfect.
Hey,
Where
kids,
exactly?
who was he
Will we
looking
find
for that he was trying to remember?
Rose looks at the half-elf sitting there and goes, him, he Rictavio, but he wrote down Ractavio, I think, because he was a bit drunk and he couldn't do straight lines.
Also,
Lines are hard. That eye is historically the most difficult shape.
Also, Owen, as we're eating the food, is there any more blood sausages and black puddings and all that?
Not served currently, but if you were to wave over, so currently the man that you were talking to before Grinner, Owen, he seems to have vanished. You can't see him right now, but you can see his wife, who introduces herself to a lot of you as Danica. Again, that same raven black hair spilling down over her shoulders, wearing very standard serving outfit, multi-layered clothing with a large apron in front with many, many pockets. Luther, if you sort of call her over to get a refill of the drink and at the same time kind of lean in and go, yes, I was hoping for a blood sausage or something like that. She'll go and fetch you one, no problems, and bring it back over.
Perfect. And that should help me with my urge?
Yeah. Yeah. She goes over, fetches your blood sausage.
Also,
The rest
blue
of you can
steak.
decide if you want to eat this. It looks a bit gross. It's very dark, black. You can see the insides
Sorry,
of
it's
it
just
gelatin.
yeah, just I have quite a peculiar palate. A blue steak as well.
Oh, I'm
Perfect. All right.
very sorry, sir, but we don't have any steaks at the moment. We have to rely
Oh,
on
that's
people
fine.
being able to slaughter fresh animals. I can get you maybe some rabbit or deer, though.
No, this is fine as it is. Yeah, I'll have a few more of these. That'd be great.
Of course, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. As I look around at everyone else, that went. Yeah, cool. Easy.
What will you lot be doing then?
We're on a bit of an investigation. We're trying to, and Jonor sort of looks around. Are there any prying eyes?
There looks to be a number of other tables filled with townsfolk, other Valachians sitting down. They don't seem to be paying any attention to you guys as far as you can tell, but Jonor, would you like to make me a perception check?
I missed that. You started.
Oh, did I drop out? Would you like to make me a perception check? Please, son, make me a perception check. 13. Yeah, 13. The gentleman who is sitting across from you, Rictavio, the one who sort of like perked up a little bit before, he seems to be fully engrossed back in his diary once again. You can, or what journal, whatever it is that he's reading. He seems to be fully engrossed in that once more, flicking through the pages. You can see that the two serving lads, the two children who clearly are the children of Erwin and Danica, are rushing around serving food. They don't seem to be paying much attention. For the moment, it looks like you've got a bit of privacy.
Grinner, there's. I'm going to lean in and pull him a little bit, and we might have a missing gravestone. Don't tell anyone, and keep that to yourself.
Do you mean bones?
What the fuck do I care about it?
Don't tell them. Don't tell them that. Yeah, the
What?
gravestone missing.
Alright. Why the fuck do we care?
I think there was a.
No, hold on.
We're gonna trust Grinner. We're gonna tell him.
Yeah, he's just
Part
sort
of
of
the party.
blurting things out loud here. I'm just trying to make sure he doesn't give away what we're doing.
So there's three fucking women right down the road eating fucking people, and you're worried about a goddamn fucking gravestone? What are we doing here?
Grinner, sorry, I'll explain, and then I'll get out a pen and paper real quick if we got anything like that. Owen.
You probably have some parchment and a quill and some ink. I'd say that's not out of the question.
I just quickly write down sort of what we're doing, give him a brief rundown. If that's what Jonor's sort of angling for, keeping away from prying ears.
Yeah.
Grinner's gonna squint at the paper and not be able to read it very well right now.
It's swimming a bit.
Oh, no, don't look. If you got to be secretive about it, all right. We can talk about it later. But is it? Surely there's bigger things to be worried about than something being stolen, right? Like,
These are okay. Look, I look around, have a quick look. Obviously, it didn't get through to him. I lean in. These are quite ancient, holy bones of a saint that sort of is sanctifying this place. And with them gone, who knows what might happen? This whole town could be at risk.
fucking. What do you mean at risk? They're bones.
No, what the bones are protecting.
Here,
This is what I
can I
meant.
try? I may try.
Look,
Grinner,
that's
Grinner, they're
Yeah.
magic.
Right.
Bones.
Magic bones.
Now you understand.
When you assemble all of them, it makes a spoopy, scary skeleton, Grinner.
Okay.
Right.
That was how they explained it to me. I just thought that might help for you. They
Yeah,
said
no.
magic bones. And I was like, now I get it. Now I'm on board. 100%.
All right, I'm following. I'm just not understanding really why that's the priority.
Also,
right?
why have you only let the kids catch up now?
Hey? Wait,
Rose and Thorn.
no, they're always here, mate. Well, they're not always here. Like they're always around, but they kind of pop in and out. I don't control it. They're just kind of here and there.
That's weird.
Yeah. Wait. What? When do you? Are you not listening the whole fucking time?
Yeah, the bones are magic.
At this point, I stand up and tell everyone to hush. I point my finger at Grinner, and I message directly into his head.
Amazing.
There are
You should have
saint
lived with
bones. Yeah,
Probably.
Very good point. There are saint bones that are magical and ward this town for protection. They are missing. We need to find them now.
Worth money.
Oh, all right. Well, if we've got to find the bones right now, and if they're protected,
He can respond to that message. He could be responding in his mind.
He can, yeah.
he's absolutely not.
Okay.
All right. Let's get out of here. I think this is not. Oh, we'll finish up some food and let's go.
Sure. The sooner we get this done, sooner we can hunt down those fucking.
No. Jonor awkwardly yells over the top as he starts saying bones.
As you do that, a whole bunch of the villagers turn around and like look at you, Jonor, and one of them goes, "Bud, bud, bud, bud," and they start like banging on the table, going, "Bud, bud, bud."
I just prestidigitation some light of my hand and maybe later.
Oh, bud tease.
Jeez.
At that, Rictavio suddenly.
Rictavio
Rictavio tucks the notebook away and pulls out a lute and strums very softly and looks up and goes, "If you're looking for a bard, I can entertain you. Don't worry about these outlanders here. They wouldn't know good music if it came and slapped him in the face. Come pay attention to me."
Tithla slaps Grinner in the face.
No, that's
Okay.
It's a bard off.
You watch as Rictavio climbs up the staircase up onto the top balcony, and as he looks towards you, he gives you guys a bit of a wink, and then begins strumming this tune along. It's a very jaunty tavern song. The rest of the townsfolk begin getting into it, singing along, clapping their hands. There is genuine joy and mirth in the tavern. Get the sense for the first time in a while, as Rictavio clearly gives you guys a bit of a wink, and then heads up to distract and draw the attention of those around you.
Oh, but I wanted to bard off. I wanted to revel.
Go on then, go revel. I'm not stopping you. You're in charge of your character. I didn't say that you.
It's fine. It's a good thing to scoot off with. I'll beat him at bards later.
Okay.
But yeah, let's scoot off and let's go harass this old lady.
Brilliant. As you head out of the tavern, having finished your meal, you can see the sun is definitely beginning to set now. The golden light that is very wan and pale, it's devoid of a lot of its heat that you would expect, dips below the edge of the horizon, the cloud cover coming across as the moon's very bright white light begins to filter through the clouds above. And as you step out into the streets of Vallaki, prepare to head towards the north, you can see the mists again. Not as thick as they were in the town of Dowbridge, but those same tendrils swirling across the floor, forming almost like tentacles or tendrils of mist and darkness.
How do I feel about that? The last time I was really in those mists, I got kind of spooked.
They're not as thick as they are in Dowbridge, and you've seen them a few times now in Barovia. When you were camping out the other night, they stayed away from the firelight, so they didn't get too close to the campsite, but in the town they seem to be swirling around and moving across the floor. You're not afraid of them yet. At this point, I'd say that they're unnerving, but not frightening.
And do the townsfolk that are moving around, do they seem surprised that the mist is there, as though bones would normally spot that?
No, not at all. They don't seem surprised at all.
Some bones.
Yeah, useless bones.
I'm moving to the opposite side of the party to where the fog is.
Well, it's sort of coating the grounds, this thin layer, up to about knee height. So there's not really anywhere you can go where you can't walk through it. Unlike the town of Dowbridge, when the fog came in really thick and you couldn't see through it, you can clearly see the grounds beneath you. It's a very thin fog, but you can still see those same tendrils sort of curling and moving throughout the little eddies of the condensation.
What temperature is it right now?
It's brisk. We're probably talking about sort of 17, 16 degrees.
Okay, so me in my short shorts and my too tight shirt, not doing so great.
You're not feeling very
Australian brisk.
Yeah.
English hot.
English warm. English heat wave. Yeah.
Alright.
Really, they have
Celsius
being drunk
as well,
probably
by the way.
makes it a bit easier.
Yeah, you're probably not as aware of it with a bit of alcohol buzzing in your system.
That's true.
To walk to Manor.
Brilliant. As you guys head through the streets, you vaguely know where you're heading to the Wachter Manor. You saw it before as you walked into town. You begin making your way there. And as you arrive at the front gates, you can see 2 guards standing out the front dressed in overcoats, long brown overcoats. One of them lined with sheepskin, as a bald man in his probably late 40s with half an ear missing calls out to you as you approach. Yeah, what are you lot doing here? And that is where we're going to end for tonight.
Half an ear missing, hey?
Half an ear missing, because that is going to be a bit of a
That's
longer conversation.
That's very interesting.
Is
what
it
do you mean,
now?
Owen?
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Alrighty, and that is where we're wrapping up for tonight, because we'll come back in next session and do that, because that interaction is going to go for a lot longer than like 10, 15 minutes. We are already at 2 hours and 10 minutes, so that's a good place to wrap up. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. It's been lovely having you all here. Thank you to everyone in chat. It's lovely seeing your lovely comments. We will be back tomorrow night for Avatar Legends. Now, next week with Curse of Strahd, Jared will not be joining us on the Monday. Jared's going to be out for a couple of weeks, maybe. Jared, we don't know
Not
yet at this
sure.
stage. Yeah,
But
we don't know.
I have knee surgery next Monday on about like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm staying overnight.
Yeah. So
Well,
we'll.
So
Yeah,
at least
2 o'clock sounds like you
at
should
least
be
1
home.
week.
So hospital D&D while you're on opioids. I think
yeah,
we
do
can
it.
do that.
You and Tithla can get
I'll be-
together.
I'll just
Oh,
say
man.
that you like your character that Luther
Bring a
drunk. He drank a drunk person, and now like the alcohol's in your system too.
So now we have to lose Grinner as well.
Blood.
Straw, though. Don't forget that.
It's
Straw.
got to be the straw. He's
Yeah,
classy.
The minority of our party is sober.
Someone swapped in a lead straw, and now you're like mad from drinking.
The Bat Capri Sun is still possibly my favorite moment of the campaign so far.
Oh man. So yeah, we'll have a guest character coming in to take Jared's place in both Curse of Strahd and Return of the Giants. For Return of the Giants, I can share that will most likely be Dave from the Avatar Legends stream. If you guys know Dave from Avatar Legends, he'll be joining us for Return of the Giants for a little bit. And for Curse of Strahd, I'm really hoping Andrew, not from any of the games that you've seen, but I've got a lot of friends called Andrew somehow. I know a lot of Andrews. This is a lovely Andrew, not Andrew MK Lucifer from the
As
Ground
opposed to
stream.
the rest of the Andrews.
Look, the rest of them are very mediocre. Actually, that's not true. There's another Andrew who's really I've got 2 lovely Andrews. And then one who's like, yeah, he's all right. Who's in Avatar Legends? Love you, Andrew. And then the rest are like, nah.
Rip Andrews.
That's-
Very
I
targeted.
actually only
That
know
was
3 Andrews. It
frightening.
turns out.
I'm-
So 3 Andrews.
How is all the Andrews that are currently listening? We're not going after you personally.
It's
unless you're
only
one
the
of those
3 Andrews. So and Andrew MK Lucifer, who I said was the Mayor Andrew, he'll love me for that. He'll think that's hilarious. Probably.
No,
I've now
he
told him
actually
it's canon. That's how you'll like it. That's it.
I don't think he'll actually care. He'll probably agree.
I think he will. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We will see you all again tomorrow night for Avatar Legends. Stay safe, stay well, and wish Jared the best for his surgery. Fingers crossed it's a really nice, easy, speedy recovery. And this time, your knee is fixed, finally.
Oh no,
This
I
time-
probably need 2 more surgeries after.
Well, then next time, or the time after that, your knee is fixed.
Yay!
Yeah,
Torn
yeah.
ACL and MCL. Whoop whoop. Need to get them done separately.
When your knee is really fucked and you have surgery,
Yeah. It's
time after time. Yeah, that's it.
That was
Sorry.
just fresh.
I think we should go. We should probably go.
We should wrap up there. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.